All right, I've begun my test, Gabby. I'm out here. This is AP at the Red Devils Gymnasium. We're about 12 minutes away from our scheduled pregame. I'm going to talk here for about another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and I'll come back on the phone and wait for the delay to end. Again, this is AP doing the test. We've begun the stream, got everything muted on YouTube. My mic is obviously not muted right now in XSplit, so we can do this test. I'll talk for another 10 seconds. This is AP out here doing the test, Red Devils Gymnasium, Star Valley, invading the big 82930. I'm going to come back on the cell phone. Did you hear any of that coming through at all? Not yet, okay. Let's see, I've got my, you heard it? Okay, you heard it, okay, good. All right, just got it. Okay, good. I close that, just. Yeah. Yeah. You don't like the scoreboard angle as it is now? It's terrible? Okay. We'll adjust a little bit. We've got a high-dollar cameraman here adjusting it. Ryan's going to adjust it right now to see if you can get a better angle. Remember, we don't need the clock, though, Ryan. You don't have to have just the score. Ryan's playing around with it. It'll be a better view. Hey, thanks. We'll go at 5:40. Okay. Bye.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I don't know how loud he'll talk.
Yeah, Jake, let's get you to just do some testing stuff here so we can test your level.
All right, we're just testing. Is that good? That too hot?
And Jake, that was a beautiful kill there by Ashley Thornock. She really came in and hammered that volleyball.
Yeah, well, you can't forget about Allie Barker setting her up in that perfect outside corner right there.
It is a team sport, and it's not just about one individual. Right now on the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard, Evanston 4, Star Valley 2.
Is that good?
Are we good?
Yeah, your mics were really hot, so
okay.
I turned them down, and then I turned this one up a little bit. That's the one going to the computer.
Gotcha.
And I had that one way down.
Mine's a little bit less than half. His is like right at half, right? Okay. All right, cool.
And that looks pretty close as far as what you guys are talking.
Right.
Evanston Red Devil Volleyball is on the air. The smallest and most remotely situated Class 4A high school in Wyoming boldly takes on all challengers from across the vast windswept plains and snow-capped mountains of the ruggedly beautiful Cowboy State. Big O Tires of Evanston presents Red Devils Volleyball on KNYN FM 99.1, The Big Dog, with live video streaming online at k-9radio.com. Evanston Red Devils Volleyball, brought to you by Castle Rock Chevrolet, Old West Design, PC Innovations, Big O Tires of Evanston, Western Wyoming Community College, Old West Media, Best Western Dunmar Inn, the legal tender restaurant, Uintabosse's #1 education center, and by T-Bar-S Body Shop and Technoglass of Evanston. Attention Evanston fans, pitchforks will rise. Let's now go live to the play-by-play voice of the Red Devils, A.P. Harold.
And a very good evening, folks. Volleyball fans, glad you can join us. A.P. Harold welcoming you to the Lady Red Devils pregame show tonight. Evanston faces the Star Valley Lady Braves here at Red Devil Gymnasium in Evanston. Game 1 set for 6 o'clock. The Lady Red Devils pregame show continues next on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils Volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com.
When your children have overnight school events in Evanston, book your room at the Best Western Dunmar Inn. All rooms are on the ground floor with drive-to-your-door access. You'll rest easy in your beautiful, clean room with 7 layers of bedding, including feather pillows. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner in our full-service restaurant. Located only minutes from schools, the best place to stay in Evanston is the Best Western Dunmar Inn. Call us today to reserve your rooms, 307-789-3770.
Computer too slow? Can't get rid of those viruses? No problem. Hi, this is Wayne Booth, owner of PC Innovations in Evanston, letting you know if there is a problem with your personal or business computer, we have the solution. Stop by today or call us at 307-789-6674. We can handle all your computer needs, from virus removals and cleanups to program installations and data transfers. Whatever you need, we have you covered. That's PC Innovations in Evanston at 789-6674. Call us today and get the service you need. 789-6674.
Welcome back, folks, to the Lady Red Devils pregame show. Tonight it's the Lady Braves of Star Valley and EHS from Red Devil Gymnasium here in the Big 82930. And when we return, we will set the scene for this evening's contest, courtesy our good friends at Monkey Shine's Truck and Car Wash and Laundromat on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils Volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM, The Big Dog, and live online at k-9radio.com.
Nice ride.
Thanks, Marissa. Monkey Shine's Car and Truck Wash keeps my sedan sexier than a sports car.
Too bad the same can't be said of your shirt.
Huh?
Monkey Shines has a laundromat, too.
Who's this guy?
He's kind of cute.
Adam Jackson, voice of the Kemmerer Rangers. And your Brooks Brothers button-down is spottier than the New Mexico Lobos secondary.
Why, you...
Better go wash up at Monkey Shine's, AP.
But...
You heard the lady, pal.
Wait, Marissa, where are you going?
Out with Adam Jackson, a sharp-dressed man.
Monkey Shines, 528 County Road, Evanston.
And welcome back, folks, to Red Devil Gymnasium. Tonight, the Lady Red Devils challenge the Lady Braves of Star Valley. Time to set the scene. Bring in my good buddy Jake Hibbert, the fine sports editor of the Uinta County Herald. And Jake, after a 1-2 start to the season, the Lady Red Devils win their final 2 matches at the Cokeville tournament, then hold off a pesky Cokeville Lady Panthers bunch last night to improve to 4-2. Now the Star Valley Braves come a-calling, and this is a very tough and talented squad.
Oh, absolutely. This is a 3A school, but about as good a 3A school as you're going to find outside of course, Mountain View, which they played and had trouble with. Especially early in the year, they got a great middle blocker. They got some good back row defense. It'll be a good challenge, though, because those last 2 games in the Cokeville tournament, Bear Lake didn't offer much of a opposing defense, and Green River is a team they're going to see a lot throughout the year. So this is going to give them a chance to see a completely new team with some talent and see how they pull out.
Star Valley has a fine tradition. As Jake mentioned, they are 3A, we are 4A. But, Jake, we are the smallest in 4A in terms of our numerical ability to draw from a roster of different boys and girls for their respective teams. So, really, when we play a 3A team, oftentimes their enrollment is closer to ours than if we play something like a Gillette.
Yeah, well, we got Riverton and Green River are within about 50 to 100 students. They're both just a tiny bit smaller, but Star Valley is about as big a 3A school as you're going to get. And I remember looking at their enrollment last year, and it's within 100 students. So you're looking at Star Valley drawing from a wide range of communities, about the same talent pool you're drawing from.
Yeah, if you had a political poll, it would be within the margin of error, really, these two schools here. So you can throw out that 3A, 4A thing. Jake, you were talking earlier tonight that volleyball, girls volleyball at the high school level is perhaps your best watch, pound for pound or game for game, match for match. Talk about the difference in the sport at the high school and then as you move into the college ranks.
Well, and like I said, I think college volleyball is an amazing watch too, but what you're going to see at the high school level is a lot more ability to sustain a rally, whereas in college you're going to have those multiple attack fronts where if you see a rally go with 30 seconds, that's pretty good. Where here, you get, especially at this level, a 3A, 4A level, you're going to get some good attacking, you're going to get some solid setters, but you're going to get some good rallies too. It's I would say it translates as good of any sport, if not better than any sport in the high school level.
Should be a real fun one tonight, and the good folks at Monkey Shine's Truck and Car Wash and Laundromat have set the scene for this upcoming matchup. First serve is set for 6 o'clock, but I believe we'll have it a little bit later than that as the JVs still finishing up that first serve between your young ladies from Evanston and, of course, the visiting Lady Braves of Star Valley. Next, we'll visit with the opposing chief executives for tonight's match on the Bear Lake Realty Gary McKee pregame coaches show. You are listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNY and 99.1 FM, the Big Dog, and live online at k-9radio.com.
UNFOC's #1 Education Center's College and Career Readiness Department can help anyone who needs to improve literacy, math, or writing skills. If you are looking to improve your education, UNFOC's #1 Education Center's College and Career Readiness Center is for you. We offer programs and testing for basic education, family literacy, and workplace readiness. Change your life. Contact Diane White or Shannon Williams at 307-789-5742 to get started today.
And welcome back, folks, to the Bear Lake Realty Gary McKee pregame coaches show. Visit bearlakerealty.com. Earlier today, I sat down with Leanne Smith, the head coach of Star Valley, to get her thoughts on tonight's contest, then caught up with the Lady Red Devils' Tara Lawler. Those interviews are next after this word from Bear Lake Realty Gary McKee on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNY and 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com.
If you or your friends are looking for a home or vacation home at beautiful Bear Lake, you don't have to wait any longer to live your dream. Bear Lake Realty has properties in every price range. Relax. Create memories for generations to come in your home or vacation home at one of the most beautiful lakes on earth. It all starts with a phone call. We will help you find the perfect home for you and your family. Call today, Gary McKee at Bear Lake Realty, 435-946-8888, or go to bearlakerealty.com.
We're pregame with the fine head coach of Star Valley, Leanne Smith. Coach, thanks for your time.
You're welcome. It's good to be with you.
Let's start with the Leanne Smith file. Where were you born? Where did you go to high school? And where did you go to college?
Grew up in Arco, Idaho, and I went to college at BYU, Idaho, actually Rick's, and then I went to BYU after that.
Coach, what led you into your profession?
My coaches and just being an athlete myself. I just have loved it since I've been young.
Tell us a little bit about the 2014 Star Valley volleyball team.
We're a little bit young, but we've got a lot of talent. They're improving every day. They work as hard as any team I've ever had. And I think this last weekend at Cokeville, they played really hard and had some great moments. We need to be a little bit more consistent than what we are, but I think that will come with a little bit of time. They're great kids to work with, so we're really looking forward to a good season.
Our guest pregame is Star Valley head volleyball coach Leanne Smith. What do you know about Coach Lawler's Lady Red Devils?
I just watched a little bit of them at this Cokeville tournament this last weekend, and so I don't know a whole lot just from what we saw at this last tournament. I've met their coach once or twice. She seems really nice, and I look forward to working with her a little bit more, but I really haven't seen a lot of them yet.
And finally, Coach, what will constitute a successful 2014 season for Star Valley?
Well, of course, I think everyone's goal is to go to state and take state, and we still have that goal, but as long as we're moving forward and improving, that's our plan, where we hope to end up each day that we get a little bit better, and then when we get to the end of the season, we'll be ready to play our best.
That's Star Valley head volleyball coach Leanne Smith. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And this is the Bear Lake Realty Gary McKee pregame coaches show. When we return, we will visit with the Lady Red Devils' Tara Lawler on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM, The Big Dog, and live online at k-9radio.com.
The vehicle parts you need when you need them at the newly expanded parts department at Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. Genuine GM and aftermarket parts. Parts for all vehicles, from ranch hand grill guards to running boards, from alternators to transmissions. If Castle Rock doesn't have it now, it'll be here by tomorrow. And Castle Rock offers free delivery within 50 miles.
We're Castle Rock.
If you want, we can install most accessories within 24 hours. CastleRockChevy.com.
Pre-game tonight with Tara Lawler, head coach of your Lady Red Devils. Coach, tough match last night against Cokeville. It's good, though, to be home in a Red Devil gymnasium.
It absolutely is. The girls are really excited to have their first home game of the year.
And, Coach, having played now 6 matches all away from home, it's something that local fans have no excuse. They need to get out here tonight and fill up the stands and cheer on these ladies.
That's right. You know, we've had a lot of great volleyball on Monday, Labor Day, Wyoming and UVU. And so hopefully now that got the community aware of volleyball, and they'll come and support us tonight.
Star Valley, what do you know about these young women?
We saw them in Cokeville. We didn't play them, but I watched them in Cokeville, and they have a lot of great talent. They've got a couple of big, solid hitters that strike the ball well. Their setter seems pretty agile, and so Star Valley always is able to produce a great volleyball team. They're known for volleyball, and I don't think this year they're going to disappoint their fans.
Coach, we're looking forward to an exciting match. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And that is your pregame coaches show, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty Gary McKee. Visit BearLakeRealty.com. We're, I shan't say fast approaching, but approaching the opening serve, and we'll return with starting lineups and some play-by-play action in just a little bit on the Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Evanston Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com.
Eating, sleeping, breathing, moving. We all do it. It's called living. But as we age, those seemingly mundane daily basics take their toll on our bodies via oxidative stress. Fight back. Supplement with all-natural Pro Tandem, a revolutionary clinically tested plant-based formula proven to reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in just 30 days. You take care of your car, your home, your money, but what about you? Supplement with Pro Tandem. Click on the telegram to help that you'll find at any of the sites at mylocalradio.com.
As you know, vehicles require maintenance to run properly. Brakes, differential, cooling systems, transmissions, and power steering each require fluid. Vehicles also have lots of parts, fuel lines, brakes and headlights, wipers, and more. And don't forget oil changes. For all your vehicle tune-ups and maintenance, trust the professionals at Big O Tires of Evanston.
Hey, this is Dennis down here at Big O Tires, 607 West Cheyenne Drive. Just give us a call, make an appointment, and we'd love to see you.
Big O Tires of Evanston, the team you trust.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
Here's a question for you. How do you feel about your smile? Are there things about it you wish you could change? Maybe you can. At Bear River Dental, we want to see your smile, and our unique services can help you get the smile you've always wanted. So be happy, perfect smile is just around the corner. Come see us today for your free smile consultation, only at Bear River Dental.
And welcome back, folks. AP Harold with you here at Red Devils Gymnasium pregame. Normally, this is the time in our broadcast where we have the starting lineups and just get going for our first serve, brought to you by our good buddy Dr. John Grohl and his Fine Practice Comprehensive Family Dental, which has provided quality family dentistry since 1998. We are running a little bit behind as the JV match here is just in their first game with Star Valley on top 13-9. So this is a pretty good opportunity. And while we've got him here to bring back in Jake Hibbard, the sports editor of the Uinta County Herald, let's just talk a little bit of Evanston Red Devil and Lady Red Devil athletics generally. And let's start, of course, with the volleyball team. After their first 6 matches so far this year, Jake, 4 up, 2 down. Is that about where you thought they would be, or what's your assessment so far?
Record-wise, yeah, I'd have to say that's about where you expect. That first match, or the second match that they played, their first loss against Bonneville. Bonneville's a 5A powerhouse in Idaho, out of Idaho Falls, and winning that game would have been a tough one. They got great attackers. They looked like they were in midseason form already. Mountain View is another loss that they've had, and that's the old rival from the Bridger Valley.
And are they 2A or 3A?
They're 3A. They're 2A football, 3A in all other sports.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell you what, that is a strong team. They only lost one player from last year. They lost their libero. But the player they got playing libero now, Hannah Bugis, she's stepping up right into that role and playing great. And they got coming back. They got a excellent middle blocker in Taylor Meeks, about 6 foot, can jump out of the gym.
So that's really not any kind of an embarrassment to lose to that 3A team. They're a fine team.
Maybe it would have been a little worse if they're midway through the year. They'd probably want to beat them. But for your third game of the season, that's a veteran squad that you got right there with 3 to 4 people that can really just knock it down on the front row.
I know Coach Lawler has mentioned to me that her service return for the ladies is something they want to work on. What's that look like to you so far this year?
The same thing. They need to improve it, because we talked about that a little bit earlier. Getting going earlier, especially in that serve return. If you can set it up right away, you can get that first opportunity kill and not even let the opposing team get into their rhythm. Where you just seen too many serves just go short and not been able to get up, and that's something that'll come by, because I thought their actual just back row defense was much improved yesterday.
And on service return, let's compare it to football. Oftentimes, if you've got a really good wide receiver, you don't have to make a perfect pass. But if you do make a perfect pass and hit him in stride, he's going to be able to make that into a big gainer. On your service return, that first touch of the volleyball is important because it can set up touches 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's some of the things that you'll see. There's things called like a 1, 2, and a 3 and a 0 pass in volleyball, and 0 being the worst, 3 being the best. And it all comes down to the options that you leave your the person that returns your hit with. And sometimes you saw Jessie Mitchell in the back row playing defensive specialist last night. Sometimes she just got that dig up. It wasn't the best placed ball, but it kept it in play and allowed the setter to get something going, and that's better than nothing. So
let's talk about another situation in volleyball. In football, you've got the offensive coordinator, and really if we had a comparable position in volleyball, it might be Coach Matt Peterson for this Evanston Lady Red Devils team, as he is calling out the serves oftentimes in terms of where he wants individual ladies on the team to try to place that volleyball.
Yep, and they don't do that. They didn't do that as much. More general serve calling in the Cokeville tournament, but last night was they did call that entire game for serving where they wanted to serve. And Tara was telling me after the game, she said Matt just looked over her at one point in the game and said, "Man, Kaylee Horton, it's like I'm playing a video game. I call a spot and she hits it right there." So that's a good sign early right there.
Absolutely. Anytime, especially kids, these millennials, you can talk about a video game compared to that. You know that's going to be a compliment and something they can relate to. Let's talk about the boys cross-country team. Had a strong early season performance, finishing 1-2 in a race. And I know that Coach Berger has really worked over the years to develop that program.
Yeah, well, you got Dylan and Jace finishing 1-2. And those are 2 solid returners. Dylan, he works his tail off, ran over 400 miles in the offseason. So does Jace. And then you got 5 in the top 10. You got Brady Olson coming in. I think he was 5th. Miles Trujillo was finished right at that 15, so you had 6 in the top 15, and they ran away with that meet, winning the overall points. And then on the girls' side, you had Clarissa Barton, who's just in her second year running, finishing second overall. Now, it's a small meet. It's a 17 meet with a lot of small schools. But you know what? In prior years, you go to that meet, you don't have that turnout of going 1-2 and then having 3 in the girls. So they've shown huge strides so far, and we'll see what they look like tomorrow here in Wyoming Indian.
Yeah, 400 miles in an off-season. I believe you drove your Subaru 400 miles in the off-season, but that's somebody else's effort, the engine, running 400 miles. That's very impressive. And you talk about dedication. And cross-country, Jake, is a sport you're not going to have the crowds cheering. It's about mental toughness, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That's it. And, you know, you'll hear some people say that they live for the runner's high. Now, I don't know. Maybe there is such a thing, but I'm under the sneaking suspicion that that's a lot of malarkey. And if you're going to do running, it's not fun, and you have to do it all for yourself, and you have to do it all for that self-gain. It's not a sport where you're going to have 1,200 people packed in a gym like we had on Monday for the Wyoming game cheering their heads off for you. It's just got to be you inside. Just got to keep going.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
Really admire runners, whether it's cross-country or track and field, or, of course, folks that do marathons, or even these things, ultra-extreme marathons. That is amazing to me, and God bless them, because I don't think Hibbert or Harold are going to be running one of those anytime soon. Now, the swimming for the girls here in the fall, Coach Cole is new this season and trying to get that program untracked, and talk about where they are right now.
Well, I was at their not their first meet. Their first meet was the Rollins Pentathlon on Saturday, but their first dual meet was on Tuesday against Lyman, and I made the trip down there and got to see a lot of them swim. You know, it's a small team. It's a team without a lot of experience. Justice Brady and Lexi Sims are their 2 returning state qualifiers, and both of them did very well. Justice Brady became their first state qualifier of the year by getting her mark in the 200-yard freestyle. So she's guaranteed a trip to state. And, of course, Lexi, she'll be getting her times here sooner or later. She was a swimmer that, as a sophomore last year, she came on in the last 2 weeks of the season, and 2 to 3 weeks of the season, and just started improving her times every single time out by leaps and bounds. So she's coming in with a lot of expectations, as is Brady. And they're still working on getting a diver out in there, getting all 6 dives together, because that's some
points you don't want to leave on the table.
No, and that was the thing. There was only one diver at the Lyman meet, and that was Oakley Blumel of Lyman, and that was 8 points right off the bat that they got just by having that diver.
I think we need to found the town of Lymel, Wyoming.
Yeah, well,
Hibbert and Harold could put in 10,000 each, and we'll homestead it out there with some folks who want to, maybe strike gold.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry Carroll has done a fine job over the years as the golf coach at Evanston, and talking to Bubba O'Neill, the activities director. That's a situation. The Wyoming weather, Jake. You're from the larger area, Montana.
Yeah.
You went to college in Utah, and now here in Wyoming. I tell you what, it's hard enough getting that little white ball to go where you want it to go if you're out in a flat area where there's no wind or possibly snow and sleet and all kind of stuff. But in Wyoming golf, that's just another extra challenge.
Well, it's a lot harder to get that white ball to go if there's white on the ground, and that was the case last year where the Rock Springs, the state meet in Rock Springs was actually postponed for a week because it snowed the day that, this is late September, but, doesn't matter. So that if you're in Rock Springs, it doesn't matter what time of year you are. That wind's going to be blowing and whipping, and that's something you always got to deal with. But that golf team, I'll tell you what, you go out into the halls out here, and you'll see a lot of state championship trophies. That's a program that's really strong in the years past. And quite frankly, it's pretty strong this year. We got a returning state champion in Callie Lunsford. She's been struggling a little bit early on, but that's struggling by her standards, which is just about as good as anyone in the state, even at that point. So if she can get it together, she's going to be in prime condition to repeat. And then we got a junior, Brock Ehlers, who finished 7th at state last year, and he's been doing quite well. He's hitting at around par or a little better in a couple meets so far. And Braden McDonald has been the number 2 for that team, getting his score down into the high to mid-70s in the last meet. And they're still looking to find that 3, 4, 5 golfer exactly, but it's starting to come together.
Folks, if you're watching on k-9radio.com and you're wondering why we're not doing the game, this is a JV game. We're running late, and the varsity match, will be coming up. This is the first of a best of 3 for the JV. AP Herald here alongside Jake Hibbard, the sports editor for the Uintah County Herald, and so we're just going over and reviewing the various teams for the Evanston Red Devils and Lady Red Devils. I know we've got a big football game tomorrow. We'll get to that in a second, Jake, but first I'd like your insight, having grown up in Montana, gone to college, university in Utah, now working in Wyoming. You've been in the, we can call it the tri-state area, if you will. Talk about similarities and differences at the prep level in those three states.
Well, obviously, if you're in Utah, you got that one centralized area known as Salt Lake County, where you're going to get most of your talent. And I think looking through Wyoming and Utah, I'll tell you what, when I first came to Wyoming, or Montana rather, when I first came to Wyoming and I saw a volleyball game here, I was blown away by the talent level based on what I had seen growing up in Montana. But of course, the town that I grew up in would be the equivalent to a 2A school here.
Right.
So a lot smaller school, but football-wise, you see some of those Natrona, those Casper schools play. They got some serious talent on there. I would have to say the talent level in Wyoming is outstanding when you look at the population, which even compared to Montana is almost half.
Right. I was going to say Montana is a state that historically has gravitated between 1 and 2 congressional districts. Wyoming has always had just one. We're the least populated state in the Union, just over 550 or 560,000 people total. Now let's get to that big football game tomorrow. A couple of 1-0 teams. Evanston, the Red Devils, Coach Fackrell's gang, hosting the Gillette, a.k.a. Campbell County Campbells, coming in. They're going to hoof in, going to caravan in. I don't know if it's a one-hump or a two-hump Campbell that's going to be leading the parade into Uintah County. But that's a team, Jake, that absolutely dismantled Kelly Walsh 54-0 last Friday. We've got a tall order ahead to stay competitive tomorrow night at K. Fackrell Field.
Yeah. Well, you see the paper tomorrow, and that's exactly what it says. It says tall task ahead. Because
I ripped that off from you. I apologize, buddy.
Well, it doesn't come out for a couple hours, so I don't think you could have. But, you look at that Gillette team, and when you see them, they're so fast. They can score literally on any play, and they do. If they come out that first play and they rip off a 68-yard touchdown, it's not a shock because it doesn't matter who they're playing. They're just that good.
Are they speed to the outside or even up the gut?
Oh, their quarterback could probably outrun just about anyone on any team. I remember last year Austin Ford, who was, of course, now redshirting a season as a quarterback at the University of Wyoming. It was the first play of the game, and I want to say he just ripped it 48 yards right up the middle for a touchdown. And it was raining and it was lightning, and it didn't matter. They're just that good. It's a huge school, and so you get a huge talent pool like that. And to shut out any school from Casper 54-0, Kelly Walsh hasn't been its strongest in the last couple of years, but it doesn't matter. That's an impressive feat.
And talking earlier, I'm new to the area, but talking my first sit down with Coach Fackrell, Coach Pat Fackrell. Of course, we got Kay Fackrell, his dad. The stadium's named after him, but he's a few coaches back now in terms of actually having been the head coach. But Pat Fackrell told me that he compared his program to Mississippi State. SEC school, they play in a big league, but obviously at the college level it's recruiting versus your own kids. But I think the analogy is pretty good in as much as Mississippi State is not going to be perennially at the top of the SEC, but every now and then when the stars align and you get the right situation, they can be pretty darn good. And you look up there, we do have one 4A state championship, I believe, in 1997, if I'm not mistaken. And so it can be done. But when you've got, Jake, schools 3, sometimes 4 times as many kids to draw from, the depth factor is going to be huge, because if a couple of your studs go down, that could be the season. Whereas if Gillette or Natrona has some kids go down, it's essentially next man who's almost as good right on up.
Yeah, I think that Mississippi State analogy is a great analogy. I'm thinking about 4 years ago that they made it all the way up to number 7 in the BCS rankings at one point. And then I think the next year they were maybe 60th, 70th in the row. And it all comes down to just if you get that talent together. Of course, we have the Papinga brothers here, three former NFL players, all coming from this same school, all coming through right at the same time. The stars align, you can get a lot going. Of course, the 2009 volleyball team that had a real chance at winning state and finished second overall, that was Aaron Kirby anchored that team. But, they had Ashley Thornock, her older sister, was on that team. Abby Ehlers was setting.
Good bloodlines in that Thornock
family.
Huh?
Great volleyball past. And Yeah, you get some families here, and the other thing about this school that I've noticed is that the emphasis that these athletes, student athletes, are willing to put in the off season and over the summer years and going to camps and traveling to Phoenix or wherever it be just to stay competitive in that sport, it is nothing like I ever experienced growing up.
And Jake, you grew up in the larger area in terms of a state that's similar. Montana, it's cold, it's rugged, it's outdoorsy. I grew up in kind of the cushy northern Atlanta suburbs, and I really admire folks in Wyoming, Montana. This is real life out here. It gets very cold. It can be very remote, and so I think you just develop tougher kids. It's not this kind of whiny type stuff. I mean, if you're out there on the ranch, on the farm, mining, just driving through snow and whatnot, you're developing a character that nothing against my hometown of Dunwoody, Georgia, which we call the Golden Ghetto, but that's the easy street. This is real life out here, and I think that hard-nosed edge is something that's developed early on.
Well, when I moved to Salt Lake to go to college, a lot of times people asked me what I was moving to Salt Lake for, and they says that the skiing is if you're looking at setter, we got Emily Davis right now. She's been doing a lot of setting, and she got a little bit of varsity action time when Kaylee Horton hit her head and couldn't come back in that last match against Green River. And I thought she did a pretty solid job. Libero, we got Vanessa Ramirez, who's probably best known on the field for her time on the soccer field, but I thought she's done some good stuff early on. Middle hitter, we got Jessica Sipos. She's a player that if she can get her technique down, I think she could be an excellent player. She was a state qualifier in the high jump last year, so she's about 5'10", 5'11", and she can jump. So as a middle blocker, that's exactly what you're looking. You'll see right there, her timing and footwork needs some improving upon, but that's something she's got a year to do before she's actually a senior.
And that's what these developmental teams are for. Obviously, JV is kind of your AAA, if you will, if you compare the varsity to your major league club, and that's something that it's okay. You want to develop it at the lower levels.
Yeah, and I think that there are definitely some good things. Like I said, Wagstaff, Emery Wagstaff is a freshman. That was outside hitter on JV. That was something that Caitlin Freeland, who's now playing varsity in the second rotation of outside hitter, did last year for the JV team. And then 2 years ago, Ashley Thornock, when she was a freshman, she was that JV outside hitter. So it's been at least 3 years of that outside hitter being a young freshman coming right up through the ranks.
Let's talk a little bit about a couple of the other programs that Cook Brothers broadcasts, and start with the Rich Rebels over there in the state in which you earned your degree, Utah, and it's the smallest county in the Beehive State. And I know that last year, our fine play-by-play man for the Rich Rebels, Ryan Steinekert, had the pleasure of broadcasting just a tremendous group of athletes over there at Rich, and I think they're pretty good again this year. Handicap Rich for me.
Well, I haven't seen them play yet. That's one thing I'm hoping to get, not this week because they're out of town. They're out going to West Side, but the week after that, hoping to get down and see them play some. I've talked to Ryan a little bit about them, and he said their line is they're replacing a lot of guys on there. They got a couple back, but they're looking at getting a little more support on the line and just get those players up to speed and ready because they run that option. And of course, if you got to have a great line to run that option. They got some great receivers in Wyatt Mearbrook and Jaden Wallentyne, and those are two great all-around athletes.
Tell me, could those kids play on some 4A Wyoming teams?
Jaden Wallentyne could be a point guard. That right on level with our point guard Alec Johnson. He is an outstanding athlete, and about 6'1", playing point guard in 1A.
Because Ryan will be quick to remind anybody, especially me, what happened last year in that basketball game. Rich got all over Evanston and won big.
Yeah,
going away.
And that was a veteran team that you just kind of saw, like with that Mountain View team defeating the volleyball girls here last week. That was a lot what happened with that basketball team early in the season. You got a great veteran team, and they lost Skylar Argyle, who was a tight end for this football team last year and a center for the basketball team. He was an outstanding anchor, but, they return guys like Wyatt Mearbrook. He can jump out of the gym. I've seen him get an alley-oop dunk, and I'm not even sure if he's 6 feet, maybe just right at.
Got some hops.
Yeah, and you'll see them. Rich seems to hate winning a game in any other way other than spectacular fashion. I'll tell you what, when it comes playoff time, they'll be down 6.
Flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, and they'll just get that drive, and they'll make a great catch to go ahead. That volleyball team,
they won one game against 4A Evanston in the opening match of the season this year, the volleyball team for Rich, right?
They won one set, yeah. They won the second set, and that was both teams' first match of the year. They're young. I thought they really played up to Evanston when they did go against them, but they're going to be coming around. They're starting a couple freshmen. Their setter's going into her second year at starting, Andy Cornea, and she started as a freshman. They lost their main attacker from last year, and that was Cammie Lamburn, and she was really their number one option. And if they could get her in a rotation, they were good. And if they got her in the back row stuck, they were in trouble. And they lost their middle blocker in Daniel Huffner. Who she wasn't much of an attacking option, but she was by far their tallest player and their best blocking option. And Ellen Peart, who was kind of a multifaceted player. She could set, she could return, she could do a little bit of attacking if need be. So they got to replace that core of 3 seniors that really carried them last year to third place finish in state, or 4th. I'm trying to remember right now. And if they can do that, it may be a full year rebuilding.
Another question for you: the other team that we cover with Cook Brothers, and we're on mylocalradio.net, I believe, tonight, the Kimmer Rangers. A question for you: we were talking to the sports guys, Adam Jackson, Ryan Steinekert, myself this afternoon. Why doesn't Kimmer and Rich County, why don't those two ball clubs meet on the gridiron in Pigskin?
Boy, you'd have to. I could probably better answer why there's 2 ERs in Kimmer than.
Okay.
I have no idea, but
that'd be a heck of a game. That'd be a lot of interest, wouldn't there?
Well, yeah, potentially. Kimmer's just been a team that's been down in the last couple of years, and they're going to Rollins tomorrow to play their first game, and hoping to see a little bit of improvement. I don't know. I haven't been here long enough to know about the geographical relation between those two to see if there really is a big connection between Rich County and Kimmer. I would guess that the Wyoming football season just doesn't allow for enough non-conference play.
Gotcha.
Would be my guess.
Our guest here pregame, and help me out with some color tonight once we finally get going, folks, Jake Hibbard, the sports editor of the Uinta County Herald. This is AP Herald. Uinta County Herald, AP Herald, but different spellings. I don't own a newspaper, and I'm not a newspaper. But the varsity volleyball game here will get going as soon as this JV match is over. And, of course, the volleyball situation, it's best of 3 for JV. But, Jake, at the varsity level, you play best of 5.
Well, yeah, and you better, because a lot of times you can see if you get ahead like this, best of three is it's good because it keeps the games moving right here. I'll tell you what, we talked about rally scoring yesterday, and I can't remember when it actually was introduced at that high school level, if it was the late 90s or whatever it was. It was sometime before the libero came in, because that might have been about 2004, 2005. But sometimes that rally score still gets me, because I was raised on you go to 15 and you only score if you're serving, so I'll get that score screwed up sometimes.
This isn't your mama's volleyball, huh?
No, quite literally, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
No, so yeah.
What are you seeing out here tonight between these two ball clubs as we take a look? Tim running the camera for us here. Just take a look at this JV game. Obviously, you've got Evanston at the JV level. They're home whites with the red numerals, red Evanston in the back, the black shorts, Star Valley in the gold trimmed in the burgundy, if you will. Star Valley, are they looking pretty good here at the JV level tonight?
Well, I think that that was a good block right there, but I think that Evanston's definitely been outplaying them. I was noticing some good things, but a lot of things, well, Paige Nixon's been playing a lot in the front row in the JV level, and here come varsity time, she'll be playing in the front row for them as well. So we got some of our varsity players out, and I'm just not sure how many varsity players are playing two ways for JV varsity for Star Valley, so that would really be a big determining factor for me. I thought Emery, she's got a good kill right there, has been looking good. Right when I finished talking about her, she got a kill, and I think she's looking good. I think Star Valley's definitely being outperformed tonight, but they're definitely competing on a level that you would expect.
Absolutely. Again, folks, the varsity game delayed a little bit time-wise here as we're getting the JV action in. Evanston is in the home whites here at the JV level, and the Star Valley Lady Braves in the road gold here at Red Devil, Gymnasium. And you see the weight room across the way there, Jake, pan up there a little bit, Tim, and I tell you what, for football, that's something that when you're a smaller school in terms of a numerical situation, you've got to get your big guys even bigger. You got to hit those weights in the off season, is when, especially in football, which is not just a contact but a collision sport, a lot of games can be won and lost.
I'll tell you what, the facilities throughout this town are incredible for a town this size. I thought that was my first impression when I first moved here last July. And this school, I think the gym looks outstanding. I think having that weight room right there, as large as it is a great asset. I think a lot of the facilities here allow, coupled with the determination of these coaches that have, and now one of them being an AD now in Bubba, instilling this mindset in these children really helps in competing on a level where you're the small guy by a long shot.
And I think that chip on your shoulder of, hey, we are the small guy by a long shot, but we're going to embrace that, we're going to own that, and we're going to come at you really, really hard. You look at basketball, not last year, but the 2 years before that, back-to-back 4A state champs. So this is not Sisters of the Poor. This is a very proud program that competes at a very high level with a lot of consistency in just about every sport. Football is the most difficult one because of the numbers situation and the strength factor. But you can go over there, in less than 20 years ago, that 4A state championship, 1997, is hanging on the facade at K-Fackrell Stadium.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they made a state championship in football
2007.
in 2004. Is it 2007?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that was the year I graduated high school.
There you go.
And we went 0-8 that year for the second year in a row, but of course that's neither here nor there. What I was going to say about basketball, though, that second state championship that they won 2 years ago, interesting thing about that was the team they played was Riverton, which is even smaller on the 4A level than Evanston. Of course, Evanston being the smallest 4A football school, but
right.
Green River and Riverton being just a little bit smaller and just by a tiny bit in the other sports. So you had two of the three smallest schools playing for a state championship. Of course, basketball, you only need 5 guys, and sometimes you only really need 3. But of course,
right.
that Evanston team, that was a team of 5 players right there.
Yeah, I think in basketball, if you're going to be a team that contends whatever your level is for a state title at the high school ranks, you need a ball handler, you need a big guy, and you need a scorer. Sometimes that can be, one guy can do both of those things. But if you've got a point guard, a guy that can fill it up, and some kind of an inside presence in basketball, as you mentioned, Jake, you don't need 45 guys. You can have 3 guys, some role players, and make some stuff happen, especially if the coaching gets creative and adjusts their schematics to the talent at hand.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how the coaching handles their talent at hand this year, because their tallest players, their returning ball handler, and Alec Johnson, a senior now this year, finally. He's been starting on varsity since he was a sophomore. He was part of that championship team. Of course, Brock Ealer's got a tiny bit of playing time due to an injury in that state championship team, but he was really that number 2 option last year at the off guard. And those are their 2 players, the guys that essentially ran the point and played off. Alec, Ben Kuntz, who's now a departed senior, was, I guess, technically the point guard, but him and Alec really split time half and half. It was kind of like Scottie Pippen bringing up the ball back in the late 90s for the Bulls right there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see they don't have a lot of height outside of those 2 guys where they put it at. Now, Gavin Whitaker, a talented receiver that you got to see play last week, you saw he's not that big, but he is a good power forward, and what he gets by with is he has excellent post moves. Not quite on the level of Kevin McHale, but he gets it done at the high school level. I remember watching them play Gillette last year in the first round of the state tournament. There was 2 college basketball players watching him, and they were commenting on how proficient he was at post moves. They were saying, "Gosh, that's the 3rd move he's just pulled off on a perfect level." So they get by without a lot of height, but it'll be interesting to see how the coaches actually run this offense this year.
I'm impressed that a guy who's in his mid-20s could reference Kevin McHale, one of the great power forwards of all time, a guy that yours truly 15 years older than you, grew up watching just destroy my Atlanta Hawks back in the 80s and very, very early 90s. Folks, it's extended pregame here for Lady Red Devils volleyball. AP Herald joined by Jake Hibbert of the Uinta County Herald. Tim Bettinson, old Red Devil, getting older every day like we all are, doing a fine job with the camera over there. This is the second game of the set, and it's 19-14, Star Valley on top, and Evanston won the first one, Jake, I believe, so this could be going to a third set very, very soon, a third game, I should say. And the Evanston Lady Red Devils will be taking on this evening the Lady Braves of Star Valley, 3A visitors, the 4A hosts here at Red Devils Gymnasium. Now, on basketball, you were talking about, what are your thoughts? I know a number of states have gone to actually a shot clock at the prep level, the high school level. I believe California has. Is that something you'd like to see come to Wyoming, or do you feel having a season under your belt covering prep hoops in the Cowboy State that a shot clock would either be unnecessary or perhaps even counterproductive?
Well, it's hard to say. There's a couple things for a few. There are a couple arguments both ways, but I'll tell you what, I'm always going to side on the way of a shot clock, and it just goes back to the original implementation of it. I can't remember exactly who came up with it, but a guy just sat and watched games, and because we're talking back in the no shot clock era of the Mike and Ran Lakers, which was just a boring time in basketball.
Late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, we're talking about a time when he just said there's got to be a better way, and so he just did the math on how often a shot had to go up to get a score into the high 80s to low 100s, and it turned out that the math worked out to one shot every 24 seconds was how it got done, and that's where that 24-shot clock comes from. Now, if they go to a 35, which I think is implemented in college right now, I'll tell you what, that'd be an improvement, because I just don't like seeing if a team's up by 12 with 6 minutes to go, the foul game has to start immediately because they can just run the ball out otherwise. I think it's just a less pure form of basketball. More pure if you're talking about traditional roots, but not as good a pure form of competition.
What about the three-point shot? The three-point shot has been moved back at the men's NCAA college level. It's not as far as the NBA three-point shot, but right now that three-point circle that you'll see out there on the volleyball court, obviously it's also the basketball court, is the same three-point shot that as a 5th or 6th grader you'll start taking when you start playing Dr. Naismith's great game. Should that be moved back, or at the high school level, is it about right?
Now you're talking to a radical right here that thinks that if the three-point line disappeared altogether, it wouldn't be a terrible thing for the actual flow of the game and the sport. But as far as the distance goes, if we're just sticking on that level, I think it's about right, especially in Wyoming. You look at maybe if you're going to some big urban areas where guys are shooting 50%, or like, maybe Indiana where you get someone like Gordon Hayward that can just put it up repeatedly, that's a different story. But I think on the high school level, if you put it back too far, it just becomes kids are going to be shooting that 3-ball anyway because it's just been ingrained. A lot of these kids born in the late 90s, they're just taught to shoot it, and you throw it back anymore, it's just going to slow it down and make it less entertaining because you're going to see those percentages just drop.
Speaking of entertaining, the crowd, which obviously has gathered here anticipating the varsity match, really rooting on their JV Lady Red Devils as they attempt to rally, trailing at 22-16 on the little bonus action here for the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. As the JV ranks going after it hard here, and the Lady Braves trying to fend off this rally, and a nice rally back and forth here on this point as both clubs getting after it, but another point for the Evanston Lady Red Devils JV.
Well, they're trying to stay in it and force that third game right now, down 5, down 1 set to nothing. So we'll see if they can do it. And I'll tell you what, you see this crowd right now. I like it when you can have the football team in town and you can have the volleyball game maybe a day before, so you can maximize the crowd as opposed to having things split apart. You just see that at basketball now. Last year they switched it to having both boys and girls games either home or away, whereas in years past they had alternated where the girls would be home, boys are away. And I really prefer the way they've switched to it now because I'm just all about getting the most people in one place as possible.
I totally agree, and from a broadcasting perspective or a sports writer's perspective, you can actually cover both events back to back and get everybody the publicity that they really deserve. These kids work very, very hard, and really I think it's wise. I know when I was in New Mexico they did it the opposite way. The boys varsity, JV, 9th grade would all travel together, and the girls would go opposite. And of course, when you have these reasonably small markets in these small mountain time zone towns, you're going to be splitting up the coverage, and the girls are oftentimes going to be left out. You do it this way, and it's, as you said, everybody gets covered. The fans can rally around, whether it's home or away. If you're going to be doing some traveling, I think it's just a common sense thing to do.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, when we get to basketball season here, you'll see some crowds when we get mid-season conference form. That just wouldn't, obviously just wouldn't be possible with those teams switching away. I remember watching a Natrona game where last year where Cole Ravelli, the departed 6'7" senior center, just laid down his 5th block of the game on a guy to seal the game. And this gym right here, I wouldn't quite call it a stadium, this gymnasium right here just erupted. And if you had half the crowd, it just wouldn't be, it would be half, maybe a quarter of the fun.
We are in an extended pregame as the JV is in its second game, and the first one taken by the visitors, the Lady Braves, and the Evanston Lady Red Devils trying to stay alive. But as soon as this concludes, we'll have a brief interlude, and the varsity will get out there. And again, as the Evanston Lady Red Devils are rallying here at the JV level, down just 23-21.
Wow, they really look like they're going to come back and take this and force a third set here.
A lot of energy and a lot of momentum right now at the JV level on Evanston's side. That crowd really behind them. See how mentally tough the Lady Braves can be to try to hold on to this, and they are literally batting it away as that one goes long, and it's now 23-22, and you got to win by 2 in volleyball. It's not like baseball. You can get that one-run win.
No, and we got Emily Davis. She's been leading the charge here at serving, and she gets that service error right there, but up to that point, I think she'd scored about 5 or 6 straight points there with her serving there.
So this would be a possible final point, and there it is. Lady Braves with an ace and the win, and I believe that gives them, it does, the best 2 out of 3 and a 2-0 sweep, if you will, at the JV level. Jake, thank you so much for being here during the pregame extended time. I would not want to have tried a 40-minute monologue. We could have perhaps brought in Bettinson to relive some of the yesteryear's glory, which it's kind of tough to get Tim to talk about his high school days. What you have to do is talk to him, and within 3 or 4 seconds, he'll be telling you how good that team was. Takes a lot of pride. I tell you what, though, giving him a hard time. That's what you love about Evanston and a lot of small towns, is that sense of continuity and a connection to the recent past, the distant past, 5 years ago, and that's why these folks have a lot of Red Devil pride. You go to other cities throughout Montana, Utah, outside of the Salt Lake area. It's a little bit different there in Salt Lake. It's more of an urban situation, but here we go with the varsity action. And Jake, again, these two schools very close numerically. Both these schools have good volleyball teams. Star Valley historically might have a better tradition, but Coach Lawler has really upped the ante here with Evanston. Obviously, ultimately, maybe not this year, but eyes on the prize. You want to win that state championship. But let's focus on tonight's contest. You've got Evanston coming in, having won 3 matches in a row.
Yeah, and you're going to see here when we finally get this conference season started, there's a slew of talent in this 4A division, even in the 4A West this year. Of course, they got the returning champion in Trona Phillies, and they're led by a person same age as Ashley Thornock, same position, Lauren Torbert, playing outside hitter. She was an outstanding all-state player as a sophomore last year, helping lead that team. And they lost their setter. They lost maybe 2 back row defenders, but other than that, everyone's back and they got 1 intimidating front line. Kelly Walsh, they're losing 1 player in Jariah Davis. Of course, she's now running track here in USC. But other than that, they're returned outstanding front line too. So it's going to be a tough year. Lady Red Devils replacing 5 seniors from a year ago, but returning some great players and got some good talent coming up. It's really this non-conference season is going to be paramount to see how these middle blockers in Paige Nixon and Brene Sanders can adjust, how right side hitter Alexis Bound can get ready to take over, and the continued development of Ashley Thornock and the young Caitlin Freeland at outside hitter. We got to get them going because you can hit hard and you can get. I saw a lot of kills last night against Cokeville. They worked last night. They won't work against Kelly Walsh.
It seems, from what I'm hearing, that volleyball, Jake, a lot like basketball in terms of you got the preseason tournaments, then you've got your non-conference or non-district games, you got your regular season, and then you get into your postseason. And, of course, it's played on a basketball court, so some similarities there in terms of how you develop your team throughout a season.
Oh, absolutely. And the preseason in basketball is going to be longer because I want to say it lasts about a month here. The preseason before you finally get into that conference season is just about as long as the actual season itself. But in volleyball, it's really important. They came out a little less energy than maybe you would have hoped last night against Cokeville, but it's tough when you're playing a 1A opponent. You got to get those early games out of the way early. It's like if you're playing Alabama, playing Appalachian State or something. Maybe they don't come out as strong, but if you can just get those reps, get that repetition, get it all going, you got to have it. And now they've got a real opponent here in Star Valley where they're really going to have to fight for that win. They're really going to have to be ready.
You see the pregame meeting right now as Coach Lawler and Coach Smith. Coach Lawler of your Evanston Lady Red Devils, Coach Leanne Smith of the Lady Braves of Star Valley, huddling with the 2 officials and their team captains to go over the ground rules, to go over how this game will unfold in terms of the official involvement. And, of course, the action coming up. We're about 15 minutes away from our first serve, which will, again, be brought to you by our good friends at Comprehensive Family Dental. That's a practice run by Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1998. Our scoreboard sponsor, again, as always, Uinta Physical Therapy, and that kill sponsor, Independent Software Solutions. And, of course, Jake, when you hear the term kill in volleyball, a lot of times your mind immediately thinks to just a big, powerful hammer spike, but it can also be kind of a dagger in the night to the back, just a little touch across the net using some finesse as well. It's all about getting a point on the board, not necessarily how fast you can make that ball travel.
Yeah, and you're going to see, you're probably going to see Ashley Thornock utilize that a little bit today. If she gets 2 blockers in good position on her right on a hit, she may just kind of let up and just try and tap it right over them and get right just past the key is to get it just past the defenders on the front and just ahead of the defenders in the back so no one can get to it. You're going to see Brene Sanders just about every time she gets set, she's either going to set the ball over or just kind of bump it over a little bit. Occasionally if she gets set and times her jump just right, she'll be able to get it down. Paige Nixon is another one that you're going to see a lot more just tipping over the net to try to get that kill as opposed to just hammering it down.
Another thing that's similar with basketball and volleyball, again, being played in the same arena and on the same floor, and of course you've even got the center court stripe is where the net is hung, is that the crowd can be a big factor. You've got, I believe, as you mentioned, most of the Evanston football team over there hooping and hollering, the student section. supporting the girls tonight. But as you know, in basketball, that's probably the sport with the biggest truly home court advantage. It's an indoor situation. It's very tight and can be very loud. Same thing with a raucous volleyball environment.
Oh, absolutely. I remember our volleyball team back in my high school days was struggling mightily, and then there was no one there, and then they really made a push to get a crowd to come out, and I'll tell you what a world of difference it made. And you can see that here. I like to see the crowd that they have here. The stadium, or I keep saying stadium, I'm used to Rice Eccles. The gymnasium here it's a little big for as many people are here, but it can still get loud because you got a strong student section right there. You got, of course, all the parents coming out. And as long as they keep doing well and as long as the schedules just keep lining up perfectly, they can get a great crowd, and they perform a heck of a lot better when they do.
Let's take a look at our varsity roster here and go over these players. Allie Barker, a 5'8 senior, wears number 24. Tell folks what Allie brings to the table for Coach Tara Lawler's Lady Red Devil volleyball team.
Well, Allie Barker, she's a great all-around player, and she's a player that can see a lot of things on the court. And Coach Lawler's credited that possibly to her father being an assistant basketball coach and her being a coach's kid. But when she's playing in the back row, she's going to be the setter. Of course, this team running a 6-2 formation, the 6 referring to the players, the 2 referring to the number of setters they have. So when she's going to be in the back row, she'll be setting for the front row. And then when she moves up to the front row, she moves over to that right side hitter spot, just opposite of Caitlin Freeland at the outside hitter.
Lexi Bown, it's B-O-W-N. When first I saw it, I thought maybe there was a typo because you see Brown so often, but Lexi Bown, there was actually a Lexi Brown on Cokeville last night, but 5'9", senior number 14. Tell me about Lexi's game.
Well, she's a player that's in her first year of varsity, and she's playing that right side hitter position, which is going to see maybe 20-30% of the actual sets with the outside hitter getting the bulk of them. But I thought what she's done so far with the sets that she's done a good job. She's a player that can get up, and she's got some height, and she can really get on top of that ball and lay it down when she needs to.
Young lady that's got a bright future and a very bright present as well. Just a sophomore, number 11, 5'11" is what I've got her listed. Caitlin Freeland, and you can't coach height, especially when you're in 10th grade and you're that tall, that talented. Talk about her.
And she may be close to 6 foot. She may be done grown. You never know with girls, but
right.
Either way, she's got the height right now. And she's the daughter of an assistant coach on this team, and she played just a tiny bit. She mostly sat on varsity last year, but she's raw. She's got some learning to do, but she can occasionally, when she gets a handle on that ball, she can really bring it down. She's got a little bit of ball control that she still needs to improve upon, but she's got a bright future.
I tell you talk about raw young talent. I think trying to compare it to other sports with which I'm more familiar. In baseball, a lot of times you'll go down to the Dominican if you're a major league team. You might see a young kid, 13 or 14 years old. He's developing his skills, but that talent is there, and you sign him. Same thing in volleyball. There's a reason she's playing at the varsity level as a sophomore. Obviously, she has a lot of talent. Sophomores aren't going to have as refined skills as juniors and seniors, but a bright future ahead and obviously contributing right now. Kaylee Horton, 5'6", a reserve, a senior, number 32. Talk about her contributions to this team.
Well, and just like Caitlin Freeland, strictly a front row player, Kaylee Horton, strictly a back row player. And when Allie moves up to that front row, Kaylee Horton takes over at setting. She must have a little more upper body strength than Allie, because when she sets that ball, it goes a lot higher. She really gets a lot of loft under that. I've seen a little bit of she maybe need to hone that in at times, because of course last night we saw one of her sets go over the net accidentally, and so I think that once she gets that down, she'll be a great setter, because she really puts it up there so like the likes of Freeland or Thornock can just lay it right down. Don't have to go up too much.
We're pregame here on the Big Dog, KNY and FM 99.1, and online, of course, at k-9radio.com. This is AP Harold along with Jake Hibbert, who's helping out with some color tonight. We're talking as we have got about 10 minutes or so before the first serve, brought to you by our good buddy, Dr. Sean Grohl of Comprehensive Family Dental, talking about each of the individual young ladies on the Evanston Lady Red Devils volleyball team. And now we talked about Caitlin and Kaylee. Now let's talk about Michaela Callis, her dad, who not quite as good looking as his daughter is, just to the right of you. She is a 5'8" senior, wears number 8, and talk about her game.
Well, Michaela Callis, she came in last year in the regional tournament. Ashley Thornock, she came down with the flu, and so they started limiting her to strictly playing the front row. And Michaela, not having really any varsity experience before that, had to come in and play that back row. And I'll tell you what, she did an excellent job just getting thrown in there. And now this year, I'm not sure if they haven't taken their warm-ups off yet, so I'm not sure if she's wearing the libero jersey or if she'll just be the defensive specialist today. But I thought she's done a great job along with Jessie doing that back row defense.
Yeah, that leads us into Jessie Mitchell, who's only about 5'2", if that, a senior, wears number 1, but she packs a lot of talent in that diminutive frame. And talk about her contributions.
Well, Jessie's a hard worker. She made this team by working hard all off season, and that's what Coach Lawler told me, is that she really worked her tail off and proved that she could be a solid back row player for that varsity team. Her and Michaela both knew holding down that defense last year. It was anchored down by Annie Guild and Hunter Jakoski DeFries, who of course departed due to graduation. So it's a completely new back row specialization back there. But I think we'll really be able to tell them more about them in about 2 weeks from now.
Paige Nixon is a 5'10" junior, wears number 21, and obviously you like the fact that she's got another season after this and is already 5'10".
Yeah, Paige Nixon, I thought her blocking has shown a lot of improvement in just this last week. Maybe it's just getting out, getting some varsity experience, but I was even watching this JV match here, and she had some excellent blocks. Her hand placement is starting to become consistently just perfect, where she gets those hands down and forward just over the net. Really could be a tear, because they're going to need that in the middle when they start playing those big 4A schools.
One of the perennial starters this season, just a junior, 5'7", Brene Sanders, very talented young lady, wears number 4. Discuss her skills out there on the volleyball court.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last night. Atypical middle blocker in that she's only, I'd say about 5'6", 5'7", whatever that is, but that's little undersized for a middle blocker. But she's got a lot of hops in her. Of course, she owns the high school long jump record, which
a little bit of hops, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, set it as a freshman and then broke her own record as a sophomore. We'll see if she then sets it again now this year. But she's got a lot of jump. She's not really not necessarily a big attacking option, at least not yet. But of course, this is the preseason. This is when you get your players out there and see what they can do and see if you can get them improved.
I had a 9-inch vertical that was registered at. A lot of those kids go to the 5-star camp. I went to a 1/5 star camp. I was the only one there, though. Ashley Thornock, I've got her listed at 6 feet even, a junior, all-state last year as a sophomore. This young lady most likely will play at some level, at the next level, as a collegian if she keeps up this effort, and talk about how important she is to this club.
Well, it's a lot of pressure for a young player, for a 16-year-old to have. Of course, you got those future plans that you alluded to, that when you go out and see her play, you think that's just got to be waiting. And then, of course, being that main hitter on that team, it's a lot of pressure to handle, but I think she does pretty well with it. And she's their number 1 attacking option. She's going to be getting the majority of the sets. She's a lot of how this team goes is going to be determined on how her right hand goes.
Yeah, excuse me, Jake, comparing it to baseball, it maybe be like an ace starting. Yeah. Number 1 starter type thing.
Yeah.
Emily Davis, Jake, junior, number 10. She may be a tweener between varsity and the JV ranks, but another contributor for this club.
Yeah, she got to play. Her only varsity action so far this year was in against Green River on August 30th in that final game of the Cokeville tournament, when, of course, Kaylee Horton hit her head. It was a kind of a scary moment, but it looks like she was just turned out to be fine. Glad there was no concussion there. But she got a little bit of time, and I thought she did well for being a young player without experience at the varsity level. The reason she got to get in there is because she's one of those JV setters that they have, and, of course, Kaylee Horton is the back row setter. But when she got that varsity time, they let her play all the way around on that rotation. So I think that she's someone you're not going to see her, barring injury, you're not going to really see her this year. But for maybe next year, she's going to be a player to watch.
Taking a look at the roster here for the Lady Braves of Star Valley, and their listed heights, they've got 5'10", 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". So Coach Leanne Smith can bring some height as well up front.
Yeah, and a lot of these girls, in fact, all of these girls, I haven't seen any of them play volleyball. I've seen them all play basketball. And I'll tell you what, Kennedy Brogue's a real athlete, as is Morgan Dana, and they have her listed as the outside hitter. And that doesn't surprise me, because she was a real contributor on that basketball team last year that played the Evanston girls pretty tough. Of course, they lost here at home, but Kennedy, I would guess she's defensive specialist. I was going to say setter, but she was the point guard for that team. Couple of solid athletes.
And I guess that's a natural progression, especially on the girls' side, going from volleyball to basketball, as they're both played on essentially the same court, a little bit smaller volleyball, but the same area. And how many of the Lady Red Devils also hoop it up?
Well, last year we had Ashley Thornock play. We'll have to see if she comes back this year. Allie Barker is the point guard, best shooter. She really was one of the main players. She was the main offensive option on that team.
Tell you what, nice to
last year.
have at the girls' side a 5'8" point guard.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty good height.
And she played a lot in the post too, but she was really that ball handler. Clarissa Barton, who's a cross-country runner, kind of came in and played a lot of the point guard. Brene Sanders handled some point duties too when Pearl Marquez, who's departed as a senior, injured her foot. So Brene will be back in the basketball season. As I look out here, who else do we got here? Paige Nixon, she should be playing. She played JV last year. She didn't get to see varsity time, but we'll see if she makes it this year. She's got the height, and depending on who comes out, she may be the tallest girl, and of course you want that tall girl in at the post. That appears to be it. Oh, maybe Lexi Down as well.
It's going to be an exciting basketball season once we get going, but of course right now we've still got volleyball, we've still got football, we've got cross country, we've got girls swimming, we've got golf, we'll have wrestling coming up in the basketball season, and of course I believe, like your native Montana, Wyoming, I know, has the Legion Ball. I believe you guys play Legion Ball back there.
Yep.
In Big Sky Country as well. That's a neat thing to play the game of summer truly in the summer. Again, coming up, we're just about 3 minutes away from that first serve, brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental, Dr. Sean Grohl. They provided quality family dentistry and continue to do so. Have done so since 1998. And some quick math there, that's 16 years. And we thank Dr. Sean Grohl for his sponsorship. UNA Physical Therapy, as you'll see if you're watching on K-9radio.com in the upper left-hand corner of your computer screen, or maybe you're one of these high-tech guys like Hibbert and you've got it hooked up to your TV at home. You'll see that UNA Physical Therapy brings you the scoreboard, and that's permanently affixed in the top left-hand corner. The Red Devils will be on the left, and the visiting Lady Braves, the guest, on the right, and our kill sponsor, Independent Software Solutions, and we thank them as well. It's interesting in volleyball, you got the warm-up jerseys that a lot like basketball, and that they can go the full length up top with the long sleeve jerseys, and then of course your game jerseys getting ready to roll here in a couple of minutes. And give us a couple of keys, Mr. Hibbert. If the Lady Red Devils want to come up with a best-of-5 win tonight, what do we need to do?
Well, I think that the serving is going to be important. We saw quite a few service errors yesterday, but part of that's due to them really getting that game called and their placements on. So I think having the solid placements on their serves is going to be key, because if you can get those aces, or you can just put that defense off track right to begin with, that's going to be huge. I think blocking is going to be key to continue the progress that we've seen from our middle blockers to really get those hands down and just negate any attacking. And then, of course, our back row defense. You got to get those returns, got to get those digs, got to read the opposing attacker's arm and make sure that you know exactly where that hit's going, because I'll tell you what, once it leads their hand, there's no time to react. You have to anticipate.
Obviously, volleyball is not quite as condition intensive as, say, soccer, where you're running around constantly for 45 minutes, but it's not like bowling or something where you can be out of shape. Have you talked with Coach Lawler at all, or are you familiar at all with the kind of training that one would undergo specifically for volleyball in terms of endurance? What would you just, a lot of running and some sprints in there too?
Yeah, well, when they start the season out, they do 2-a-days, and it's really more like a 1-a-day as far as basketball goes. It's one volleyball practice and one cross-country practice because their morning practice is just all conditioning, whether it's running stairs, running laps, running up on this track above the gym right here. It's just all conditioning, and she's very intensive about that. And you'll see a lot of the best volleyball coaches really are. They put a huge key on conditioning, because you see when you're watching the game of volleyball, you don't see a lot of necessary long movements, but you see a lot of quick movements, and you see a lot of repetition that can get exhausting over a period of time.
And I tell you what, folks, not too late. We certainly appreciate you listening on the Big Dog KNY and FM 99.1 or watching online at k-9radio.com. But if you do have the chance to get out here, it's now almost 7 o'clock. A raucous, fun environment here. This is better than most Division III basketball or volleyball environments, in my opinion. And hometown crowd. You got the student section over there, a lot of the football guys, some of the other students as well, and got some of the old 1990s ESPN Sport Jams playing there. This is good stuff.
Yep, I'm excited. I got to go down to this court, get some pictures, and then I'll be back up to join you here for set 2.
Thank you so much. That's Jake Hibbert, who's been helping out here in this extended pregame tonight, the fine sports editor of the Uinta County Herald. And again, want to thank our camera operator tonight, our ace camera operator, Evanston High School graduate Tim Bettinson, for his fine handiwork. You see there, if you're watching on k-9radio.com, the Lady Red Devils coming out in their white tops, trimmed in red with the black shorts. And the Lady Braves of Star Valley, some sharp-looking unis as well, all in black, trimmed in gold. And it's now time, folks, for our nation's national anthem. And a fantastic job of the Star Spangled Banner. Now time for our starters. And let's see who we've got first for the Lady Braves. It's going to be Jamie Hardy at libero. Shawnee Dance, Kennedy Brogue, Emily Kazir, and Morgan Dana and Kayla Thomas starting as well. And now for your Evanston Lady Red Devils, the bell is rung. Crowd's amped. Quite the production, quite the show here. Excellent sound system. Michaela Callis, your libero. Kaylee Horton, senior. Renee Sanders, the 5'7" junior, number 4. Ashley Thornock, of course, the fine junior. Caitlin Freeland. Jesse Mitchell gets the starting nod. Alexi Bound. And number 24, Allie Barker. Those are your starting lineups. Time now to play some volleyball. And again, tonight's first serve said to be brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1998. And the ladies will show some sportsmanship, wish each other well as they're meeting at the net there at center court, right above that pitchfork or trident emblem that is so associated with this fine high school athletics program, the Evanston Red Devils and Lady Red Devils. This is Lady Red Devil volleyball right here on the Big Dog, KNYN FM 99.1. And of course, online, you can watch us live, video stream, k-9radio.com. Evanston, the white tops, the black shorts, the red trim, the red numerals, red Evanston across the back. And Evanston will serve to get this thing going again. Dr. Sean Grohl, Comprehensive Family Dental, we appreciate his sponsorship of the opening serve. And here's Michaela Callis. Her right hand will get us going, and she fires it across. Nice little bump there by the Lady Braves. They'll tap it long on the return, and it's now 1-0. Lady Red Devils on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And Miss Callis will take another serve. There's the bump. They will set it. Here comes the attempted spike, but it's way off left into the arms of Evanston Lady Red Devils head coach Tara Lawler. It's now 2-0 Lady Red Devils on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Nice dig there. There's the touch across the net instead of the spike. We're going to set it up and bump it back across. Play it high in the air. Here's the set and the attempted kill, but into the net. And it's now 3-0 Lady Red Devils on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. As Michaela Callis, her fourth serve of this young night. It's toward the back line and set. And there's the attempted kill, but a nice dig by Michaela. We'll set it up for Thornock with the attempted kill, but it's dug out nicely. Lady Braves will set it up. We'll look to block at the net, and we will lose this point. As credit the Lady Braves in rally scoring with their first point of the night, as we can't return that one. 3-1 now. Evanston on top on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And the Lady Braves will serve it across. And Thornock will touch it down, and that'll be a point for us. A nice headsy play there by Miss Thornock, 4-1, as she went up looking like for a hard kill and just tapped it adroitly into the front left corner. 4-1 now, Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And now serving for Evanston, Brene Sanders, the jump out of the gym, 5'7" junior, got some serious hops. She'll serve it toward the back, a nice bump. There's the set, and the Lady Braves with a beautiful kill there. That's the number 6, Kayla Thomas, who brought the hammer down. And it's now 4-2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Evanston doubling up the Lady Braves. And they will loft it across for the Lady Braves. We're going to bump it, set it for Thornock, and she's rejected at the net, but we keep it alive. Back to Ashley, and she's short into the net. And that point will go to the Lady Braves. Good teamwork there on both sides, but Evanston not able to execute and give the point to the Lady Braves. Pop it across the net on the serve there. And we'll bring Thornock, who is rejected at the net by number 5. And checking my roster here, I don't have a number 5, but she's obviously out there. A nice play. We're tied at 4 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. We'll rally here 3 in a row for the Braves, and we will fire it hard and win that point. Nice shot there, I believe, by number 24, Allie Barker, with the kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. And if you've ever been around me and software and computers, you know that I don't have the solutions, but our good friends at Independent Software Solutions do. I encourage you to patronize them. Evanston will serve it across. That's Kaylee Horton with the serve. And a nice block there by the Lady Red Devils. And give that kill, again, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions, to the women in white. It's now 6-4 Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard as Kaylee Horton, the 5'6" senior, serves it. And the bump a little bit off the set back toward the net. They'll tap it across, and a nice understated kill there by the Lady Braves. And again, looking for that number, as they've got all kind of different numbers, JV and varsity. I don't see a number 5, but a nice play there. Great dig on the serve by Ashley Thornock, who will pop it across the net, dug nicely by the Lady Braves, and then some miscommunication there as they'll hit the ball one way. It's a zig and a zag, and they're not in communication correctly, and that point will go to the Evanston Lady Red Devils. 7-5 in the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard as Thornock is back to serve. The junior gets it across the net. They'll set it up with the Lady Braves, and a nice kill there by number 9, and that is Kennedy Jenkins. And Kennedy at 5'9", just a sophomore, outside hitter, middle blocker. Nice play there. 7-6 now. Evanston by 1 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Lady Braves will serve it across the net, and our initial service return is poor. It comes right across the net, and the Lady Braves just touch it down across the net for the kill. We are knotted at 7 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Something the Lady Red Devils got to work on is the service return. Here's another opportunity for that, and that serve is long. And on the long serve, Evanston gets the point here and rally, scoring 8-7 Lady Red Devils on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Number 1, Jesse Mitchell, at about 5'2", will fire it across on the serve, and the little touch across is just inside by number 1, Shawnee Dance, and she did a nice little dance with that ball, just tickling the inside of the court for the point for the Lady Braves. 8-8 in the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And it's now Kennedy Brogue who will fire it long, and Miss Brogue will score a point inadvertently for the Lady Red Devils here at 9-8 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Our number 24, Allie Barker, the 5'8" senior, set to serve. She fires it across the net, hits the net. That's always trouble. And the return is a creative one by the Lady Braves, and it's good enough to get a point as we knock it in the wrong direction. We're now knotted at 9 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard here in this first game of a best of 5. Here comes the libero. She'll serve it across. Nice bump there by Mitchell, and we'll look to fire it across, and we've got a net violation, I believe, on the Lady Braves. That point will go to Evanston. Our libero, Michaela Callis, is back to serve. She began the game serving, and the libero for the Braves. Lady Braves will bump it back across on the third touch. Callis hits it, and we'll fire it back across. There's some action at the net, and the point will go to the Lady Braves. Some argument there as both sides thought they had it, but the officials rule the point to the Lady Braves. Knotted at 10. A very, very competitive game here early, and the serve is a nice one. Harris, though, touches it first, but then some nice net play as the Lady Braves reject Thornock at the net. The point goes to Star Valley, and they lead at 11-10 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Pop it across the net, and the set will be fired across the net, and now the Lady Braves will return. It's long as Michaela Callis wisely lets that one go, and we're tied at 11 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. You played at 25 in the first 4 games, got to win by 2. And number 4, Brene Sanders, will pop it across the net. Libero bumps it. Here's the set, and the spike is dug out of there, and we'll set it up for Thornock, who will tap it across. Nice bump there. There's the set. They'll look for the kill. We'll bump it back up in the air, set it back, and then just push it across on the third touch. There's the bump. Another set by the Lady Braves. They'll bring the hammer, and it's too much for Callis to handle. And the point goes to the Lady Braves. 3A Star Valley 12 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The Evanston Lady Red Devils 11. This one has been a seesaw, nip and tuck affair throughout. Star Valley with the serve. Harris with the bump. Here's the set, and we'll just loft it across, but it's a nice one and difficult to corral off the hand of number 2. I believe that is Lindy Moore, if I'm not mistaken, and the point goes to the Evanston Lady Red Devils. The kill there brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. Number 32, Kaylee Horton will pop it across. There's the bump and the set, little touch across, looking for the kill, not going to happen. We'll set it here on the right side for Barker. We'll pop it across. Nice recovery there by the Lady Braves. We're going to set it up for Thornock on the right side. Her right hand brings it down, but a nice bump. There's the set. Right side looking for the kill. Nice dig by Evanston, but we can't hold on to it. Corral it as Barker has it deflect off her mitts, and it's now 13-12. Lady Braves by 1 here on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. These kids don't need any physical therapy. They are in top-notch shape, but you never know. It can change in a second. That's why Mark Brinkerhoff is there for you. We're going to slam that one into the net. That's number 24, Allie Barker, coming up a little bit short, and another point for the fine visitors from Star Valley. The Lady Braves up 14-12, but they're going to serve this one right into the net. That's Kayla Thomas with the unforced error, and that point will go to the Lady Red Devils. Here's our fine all-state selection, the junior Ashley Thornock, number 5. 6-foot junior back to serve, and she'll poorly serve this one. Just slipped off her hand, it looked like there. A little frustration as she gets some
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference. Because we are where you are.
And welcome back, folks, here on the Lady Red Devils volleyball match tonight against the Star Valley Lady Braves. And the Lady Braves will serve it across. We'll look for the kill. It's deflected at the net. Back on our side. We'll just pop it across. There's the bump, the set. Lady Braves will go for the kill. And they'll get it as Thornock can't dig it out. And it's now 17-13 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Star Valley ahead by 4. We'll look for the kill on the right side with Freeland. Nice dig there. She'll hammer it back. And this time she gets that kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions, as the second time proves the charm for the Lady Red Devils. Apologize for some technical difficulties. We are back, and that serve there by our number 1, Jesse Mitchell, goes long. It's now 18-14 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The Lady Red Devils down 4. Star Valley serves it. We'll look to get that kill, and they're going to corral this one. Will the Lady Braves bump it back across? We'll set it up for Barker. Barker's going to fire that one long, and the point again goes to Star Valley. The Lady Braves now leading by 5, 19-14 here on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve for Star Valley is dug out of there, but right into the net as that bump by our Jesse Mitchell wasn't adequately placed to allow her teammates to continue the action. It's now a 6-point lead. Mitchell will bump this one, though. A nice set, and we'll look to hammer it home, but the spike is bumped back, and some play at the net, and that ball, that point, again, is going to Star Valley on a tremendous roll here, up 7, 21-14 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Will set it up on the right side and hammer it across, but a nice bump, and it's fired across on this side and cannot dig it out. That's Kaylee Horton, and again the point goes to Star Valley. They're on a big roll, and Coach Lawler has seen enough. She wants another timeout. This is, of course, the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, 22-14. Evanston trails it by 8 on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball. Also online at k-9radio.com, KNYN FM 99.1. The Big Dog. We're back right after this.
Wrecking your car can be a real headache, not to mention the stress. Whether you've had major damage or a fender bender, we can fix it. Let us relieve the stress. We'll work directly with your insurance company and have you back up and running quickly. Plus, we guarantee our work. Stop in for an estimate today. It only takes about 10 minutes and it's free. T-Bar S Body Shop on Technoglass of Evanston. Let T-Bar fix your car. 515 County Road, across from the cemetery. 789-2639.
And we appreciate that message from our good friends at T-Bar S Body Shop. This first set here could use some body work for the Evanston Lady Red Devils, trailing it by 8. Need to get that score reversed if you are a Lady Red Devils fan. The Lady Braves serving. And there's the bump by Evanston, the set. And Barker will hit it across and get the point for Evanston. It looked like the Lady Braves were anticipating a harder kill. Brought to you by Independent Software Solutions, and Barker, not exactly a touch across, but not as much on that one. But then Barker with the serve is going to fire it long, so an unforced error makes it 23-15. 8-point lead for the Lady Braves. Their libero will serve it across. Nice little bump there. There's the set. We'll go for the kill and slam it into the net. Unfortunately, that's Lexi Bound coming up short, and this is now the game point as it's 24-15, 9-point lead on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Long serve, nice little bump there by Thornock. Will touch it across the net, and they'll set it up here for a potential winner, and there it is. 25-15, the first game goes to the Lady Braves, a convincing one. They lead at 1-0 in this best of 5 here on a 25-15 win on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball. KNYN 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com. That is the end of the first set, and we'll return right after this.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
And welcome back, folks. We've got, after the first set, it's a 1-0 lead for the in terms of the games for the Lady Braves of Star Valley, 25-15, and really after it was 12-11 or 13-12 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, as Jake Hibbert rejoins me, the fine sports editor of the Uinta County Herald. Jake, at that point, I believe it's 13-12, big run there to close it out, about a 12-2 run for the Lady Braves as they took control. Coach Lawler called a couple of timeouts but could not stem the bloodletting as the Lady Braves convincing in that first game.
Yeah, she called a timeout when they were down 3-13-16 and then one when they were down 14-22. But once you get to that 22 point and you need about 11 points to get back in the game, it's going to be real tough. And they just couldn't recover. I thought they did an all right job in those last 4 points. Of course, service errors, those are going to happen. But they're going to have to step it up here this game.
And again, it's best out of 5, so you just got to put that one behind you. Serving here will be the Lady Braves, and our first serve brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental Dr. Sean Grohl. And the serve across there is by Emily Kazir, and action at the net is going to go the way of the Lady Braves, 1-0, as Kazir will get another opportunity. Where's number 4? And the right-hander will pop that ball across the net. There's the bump, and we'll set it backwards, and we'll just have to pop it across the net. The libero bumps it for the Lady Braves. There's the set right near the net, off the net. Nice deflection on the bump by Thornock. We'll pop it back across. Nice bump there. Here's the set for the Lady Braves. They'll tap it across. We'll bump it. We'll set it. And Freeland with the kill deflects off of, I believe, yes, the Lady Braves. And that point will go to the Evanston Lady Red Devils, tied at 1, and we went to physical therapy scoreboard.
That was good back row defense there by Ashley, playing in the back row of the first rotation just to get to that front row for when they first served. Did a good job keeping it alive.
Michaela will serve it across our libero. And now back on the Evanston side as Thornock will pop it across. Nice bump. Here's the set. They'll go for the kill, and we'll reject them at the net. I believe that was our number 14, Lexi Bound, who got up with a nice bound and makes it 2-1 Evanston with that kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Michaela again will pop it across with the serve. There's a nice set. Little touch kill, and that's beautiful, as Jake alluded to there. That's a nice finesse kill there by the Lady Braves. Jake tying this thing at 2.
Something to note, first set, Kaylee Horton was the one setting Ashley Thornock. Looks like it's going to be Allie Barker this set, too. We'll see where Lawler goes with set 3.
Tied at 2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve for the Lady Braves. We'll look for the kill. It's knocked at the net, kept in play. We'll set it back up for Thornock. Little touch kill attempt, but a nice dig. Here's the set, and rejected at the net, into the net, and that point will go to the Lady Red Devils as that ball about a full volleyball's distance from going across the net. 3-2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The libero will bump it. There's the set, and on the right side just a touch across for the Lady Braves. We'll set it on the right side for Thornock. She looks to bring the hammer. Nice dig there by the libero, and they'll pop it across creatively. We'll keep it in play. Back to Thornock. A little touch across. Nice little bump. They'll set it. Look for the kill, and it's bumped by Evanston. We'll set it with a nice little pass, and our attempted kill by Barker, though, goes into the net, and we are knotted at 3 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
Well, I tell you what, that Star Valley set right before that kill into the net was not where they wanted it to be.
Kayla Thomas with the serve. We'll push it across with Lexi Bound. And some creativity employed to get it across by the Lady Braves, who keep it in play again on another touch, and they'll just pop it across. We'll keep it in play, set it up for a tap across, maybe a point. No, great dig there, and they'll bump it back across. We will set it up for Thornock, who will just touch it across. This ball still being rallied as they'll set it up on the other side for the Lady Braves, and they'll hammer it too hard as Kennedy Jenkins about 5 feet deep. That point will go to the Evanston Lady Red Devils. 4-3 Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, if we're giving points for effort, that was Shawnee Dance and Lindy Moore both making 2 incredible digs right there in the back row to keep it alive.
Evanston, though, gets the point. Kaylee Horton to serve, and the libero will bump it. There's the set, and the attempted kill is dug out of there by Evanston. We'll set it up for just a tap across. There's the bump, the set. The Braves will go for the kill. Rejected at the net, but out of bounds.
And that was Paige Nixon on the block right there. Good positioning right there. That's the first block of the game that I've known.
But the point does go to the Lady Braves. We're knotted at 4 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And the Lady Braves will serve that one right into the net. And that point will go to Evanston. 5-4 now. Lady Red Devils Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard in game 2. Serving will be our all-state standout Ashley Thornock, and she will hit it into the net. And Jake, some sloppy play here the last couple of serves.
Yeah, I'm guessing Coach Peterson wanted her to hit a specific spot that required a kind of a line drive sort of serve right there, and it just didn't quite go where she wanted it to.
Kennedy Brogue will fire it across the net, just clears the net. We're going to bump it backwards and now just have to pop it across the net. Back to the libero on this side for the Lady Braves. They'll set it, go for the kill. It is just a shade long, and that'll go to Evanston as the Lady Red Devils retake the lead 6-5 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
Boy, I missed that a couple points ago, and it would have been Paige Block. Was that a net violation that she got called for right there?
It may have been. I'm looking at three different things here.
Yeah.
Have to confirm after the game. Here's the serve for Evanston's Mitchell, and looking for the kill, but hitting it way long on the left side is number 8, Morgan Dana. Makes it 7-5 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard as Mitchell will fire it again, dug out nicely by their libero. They'll set it right by the net, little touch across. Will set it up for Freeland, who will smack it across. Nice little dig there, and it's touched across the net, and we have a violation on the Lady Braves, and I believe that point will go to the Evanston Lady Red Devils. 8-5 now as Miss Mitchell having some success here, and she'll pop it back across the net. Dug out of there nicely by the libero. There's the set left side looking to bring the hammer, but a nice dig by Evanston will touch it back across the net. Bump nicely and set nicely by the Lady Braves. Will just pop it across the net. We'll set it in the middle for number 4, Brene Sanders, but it deflects and the point goes to the Lady Braves. 8-6, Evanston by 2, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The libero, Jamie Hardy, will fire it across, middle part of the hardwood, and we will pop it back across, dug out of there by Brogue, and they'll set it for just a touch kill, and it is successful. Beautiful play there by Morgan Dana with just a little finesse action. 8-7, Evanston by 1 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Libero again will pop it across. Thornock will bump it, will set it on the right side for Freeland, who brings the hammer, and a couple of touches later, it's into the net. Point for Evanston. 9-7 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve now goes to our number 24, Allie Barker. Barker lofts it across to the right hand. Libero bumps it. There's the set, middle part of the hardwood, and the attempted kill is way long. 10-7, Evanston by 3, by a field goal, if you will, on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard early here in game 2. Nice dig there by Brogue, and the pop across is going to be long as Jesse Mitchell says, hey, I'm not touching that one. 11-7, nice little rally here, Jake, on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard for Evanston, and a timeout as we will take it as well. 11-7, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. That is our first timeout here in the second set on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Evanston Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com.
Computer too slow? Can't get rid of those viruses? No problem. Hi, this is Wayne Booth, owner of PC Innovations in Evanston, letting you know if there is a problem with your personal or business computer, we have the solution. Stop by today or call us at 307-789-6674. We can handle all your computer needs from virus removals and cleanups to program installations and data transfers. Whatever you need, we have you covered. That's PC Innovations in Evanston at 789-6674. Call us today and get the service you need. 789-6674.
Welcome back to live action, folks. We had the serve. It's point still being contested, and we'll tap it into the net as our number 4, Brene Sanders, just not quite enough pa, if you will, on that one. The point on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard goes to the Lady Braves. They lead it 11-8.
No, they were at least able to get 3 straight points out of that. Started off by Allie Barker getting that kill, and then, of course, getting those 2 serves in, and now they get the point here with the service there.
Yeah, Emily Kazir fires that one into the net, and it's now 12-8. Evanston by 4. Our libero, Michaela Callis, will pop it across the net. Dug out by Brogue. Here's the set. The touch across. Will dig it. Set it. Thornock looks for the kill. Nice dig there by Brogue. Will bring the hammer, though, with Thornock. and it's now 13-8. That kill brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. Thornock not to be denied.
This is a great test because those defenders are not letting go on when Thornock hits it down. They're playing and they're jumping all over the place and getting those digs.
Callis with the serve. The Lady Braves return it. Will push it across. The libero bumps it, and they set it with Kazir. Fired across. Will dig it out. Set it. Thornock brings the hammer. Great dig by Brogue. And they'll push it back across. Our libero Callis digs it. We set it. Thornock touches it into the net. Not quite enough. And the point goes to the Lady Braves 13-9. And they went to physical therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 4.
And that's that anticipation. When you see Kennedy Brogue come out, she did an outstanding job of just following Ashley and just getting it right in the position to get all those digs.
Lindy Moore with the serve. Callis with the bump. Thornock looks to deliver the kill and does so. The libero tried to dig it out, but it spun wildly off her left hand. 13-10, or 14-9, excuse me. I'm getting the wrong numbers here. 14-9 on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard. That kill brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. We will serve it, and looking for the kill, but a nice bump by Evanston, and we'll bring it with Thornock. And Thornock, that kill ends up on the deflection in about the 4th row. Independent Software Solutions bringing in that kill again, and continuing to serve for us, I should say, Brene Sanders, as we lead at 15-9 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Sanders lofts it across, and the bump, and the set's not a very good one, so they just loft it back across. We will set it for Thornock, who looks to tap it, but doesn't quite get enough on it into the net. 15-10 now, Evanston by 5, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve returns to the Lady Braves.
And they're relying heavily on the attacking of Thornock. I like it more when she just gives that full arm rotation than when she tries to outsmart that defense.
Thomas with the serve, and quickly Thornock, after a bump and a set with the Independent Software Solutions kill, 15-11. I thought that was going to be 16-10, but I viewed it incorrectly. And so now we've got, let's see what we got here. Do we have an issue with the, let's see, I believe we're having a discussion here whose point that was.
I think there might have been a substitution.
Well, they're going to give, I guess, the point somehow. Yeah. Maybe a penalty on us or infraction. I think Coach Lawler may be confused as well. She wants a timeout.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because that should have been 16-10. I had it right there, and then they gave the point to the guest. I don't know. I didn't see a net violation. I don't know if our cameraman saw anything.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head. He doesn't know what's going on either.
We'll figure it out on the other side. We'll take a break. Right now, 15-11 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. This is a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Evanston Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNY 99.1 FM and live online at k-9radio.com. Back right after this.
Eating, sleeping, breathing, moving. We all do it. It's called living. But as we age, those seemingly mundane daily basics take their toll on our bodies via oxidative stress. Fight back. Supplement with all-natural Pro Tandem, a revolutionary clinically tested plant-based formula proven to reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in just 30 days. You take care of your car, your home, your money, but what about you? Supplement with Pro Tandem. Click on the telegram to help that you'll find at any of the sites at mylocalradio.com.
And welcome back, folks. The serve for the Lady Braves. We'll bump it. We'll set it. Thornock will attempt the kill. It's deflected at the net. We'll keep it alive, though. We'll just loft it back across with Thornock. They'll bump it. They'll set it. Will the Braves look for the kill, but hit it right into the net. And it will be now 16-11. So they did give that point to the Lady Braves before we went to our timeout. But 16-11 now on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And we will serve it now with our number 32, Kaylee Horton. Kaylee pops it across the libero with the bump. There's the set right at the net, and it's deflected off.
That was Thornock on the block there.
Yeah, off her hands and across the net. Thornock gets the kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions, 17-11. And it's our serve again with Kaylee Horton. And we've got the officials conferring right now. 17-11, though, is the score. And Kaylee has the multicolored volleyball and will loft. It looks beautifully across on the left side. And the bump back across is out of bounds, and it'll be a point to the Lady Red Devils. That may have been going out of bounds, but too close to take there if you were a Lady Brave. And a nice serve by Horton, who gets another one. She'll fire this one left center part of the court. The dig by the libero. There's the set. Looking for the kill on the left side. Knocked up in the air at the net. Here's the set. And the hammer at the net. And that point will go to the Lady Braves as it deflects off of Evanston but does not land in the court. 18-12 now on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 6. Lady Braves with the serve.
That was some nice serving by Horton there. That one that might have gone out of bounds. Of course, remember last night in Cokeville, that was match point when they thought one was going out and it landed just inside.
And we will pop it up in the air and across the net after the Lady Braves serve. Now they'll set it up. Touch it across. We'll dig it out. We'll set it. No, it's a nice little set kill attempt, but great rally on the other side by the Lady Braves. That's beautiful volleyball on either side. A nice play by Evanston on the fake set, pushing it across the net. Great recovery by the Lady Braves, who win the point ultimately, 18-13 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 5.
Yeah, and we saw some of that. I've seen that. It's the third time I've seen Allie do that this year so far.
And Thornock will go for the kill, but it's bumped up in the air. Here's the set by the Braves. They will bat it off the net and into our territory. We'll set it up for Thornock on the right side. She goes for the kill and hammers it home. 19-13, Evanston by 6. Independent Software Solutions bringing you that kill. 19-13, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
I don't know what you think, but I just think that she should just keep doing that full rotation. Don't try to fool the defense. You got the skills. Let it happen.
There's the serve by Thornock, I believe, and we'll deflect that one, but the point will go on the deflection to the Lady Braves, 19-14. I tend to agree with you, Jake. I'm certainly no expert analyzing volleyball, but she does have tremendous physical gifts, and I think at this level, until they prove they can stop it, just keep bringing them. Brogue with the serve, and we'll push it across with Freeland. Brogue with the bump. There's the set on the left side, the touch kill attempt, but it's bumped and set, and we'll touch it across with Freeland. Nice dig and set there. They'll pop it back across. We'll set it in the middle of the court for Freeland, who'll touch it across. Brogue bumps it. They set it back on the left side looking for the kill, where you are going to have that one deflected off of Thornock, and the point goes to the Star Valley Lady Braves. That was an entertaining point right there. Tip your cap to the Lady Braves.
And that was Morgan Dana on that game-saving serve. I think Defensive Player of the Year in 3A is going to be a battle between a bunch of Star Valley players from what I've seen.
And the serve by Star Valley is back on Star Valley's side. We will now bump it, set it, and look for the kill, but it's deflected. Brogue will bump it. There's the set, looking for the kill. Star Valley will bump it. And we'll set it with Horton. Tap it across with Barker. There's a nice bump, a nice attempted set. This one's going to go into the third row, and that point will go to the Lady Red Devils, who now lead on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, 20-15. Some exciting, entertaining action these last 2 or 3 points, as the net has seen the volleyball pass to and fro myriad times. Mitchell will fire it across. That ball is deflected a couple of times. They'll just have to pop it back across. Will the Braves? They do so. Thornock bumps it. There's the set right at the net, though. The set not adroitly placed, and that point will fall in favor of the Lady Braves, who now trail it by 4, 20-16. Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and the libero will fire across in the serve. We will set it up for Renee Sanders, and the point will go on the deflection to Evanston. The Lady Red Devils now leading at 21-16 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
We got Lexi Bound coming back in place of Kaylee Horton, so we're going to have Allie setting right now and serving right now.
And we've got a timeout taken by Coach Lawler, and we will go ahead and take it as well to get one spot ahead. 21-16 Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard here on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball, also on K-9radio.com. We're back right after this.
Thank you, yes you, thank you for helping to make Castle Rock Chevrolet Southwest Wyoming's #1 Chevy dealer. Thanks to you, Castle Rock Chevrolet has been able to expand their inventory of new Chevy cars and trucks, giving you the best selection to choose from for miles around. And financing? That's easy. No credit is no problem at Castle Rock Chevrolet. Let us help get you into the vehicle that best suits your needs.
We're Castle Rock.
Best selection, easy financing. CastleRockChevy.com.
And welcome back to a raucous Red Devils gymnasium. We're getting late here in game 2, 21-16, Evanston by 5 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And the libero with the bump. There's the set, looking for the kill, but into the net. The Lady Braves and Evanston 3 points away from victory here in game 2, 22-16, 6-point lead on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Barker serves it across. Brogue with the dig. There's the set. The Braves will pop it across, and that one goes off the hands in the wrong direction off of Barker. Give the point to the Lady Braves, 22-17, Evanston by 5, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Number 4 will go ahead and serve it. That's Emily Kazir. And Kazir puts her right hand on the ball, gets it across the net. And a little confusion for the Lady Red Devils, who will pop it back across out of bounds, 22-18. Another point for the Lady Braves.
Well, they're not going to be giving up easily, and they're going to have to get some good offensive attacks here because the Braves aren't going to just give this one away.
Kazir fires it across. There's the bump and the set middle of the court, deflected into the net, and that point will go to the Braves, 22-19, as Mr. Hibbard alluded to. The Braves on the warpath, the Lady Braves, and Kazir will attempt to get her team to the 20-point barrier. They trail it 22-19 to Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Kazir fires it across. It's dug out in the back by Mitchell. Right side, Freeland goes for the kill, but the libero bumps it across the net. Over to the Evanston side, will push it across looking for the kill. Libero again bumps it. They'll set it right side and into the net. That point will go to Evanston. We now lead at 23-19. Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard 2 points away from victory, as our libero, Michaela Callis, number 8 in the red jersey, will fire it across the net. Dug out by their libero. Here's the set, and they'll just pop it across on the left side. We'll set it on the right side for the kill for Thornock, but it's deflected at the net. We'll push it back across the net. And there's the bump, the set, looking for the kill. The Lady Braves will bump it. We'll set it. Thornock again brings the hammer. Independent Software Solutions. We're a point away from victory, 24-19 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and going for the game here with the serve is our libero, Michaela Callis. Let's see if she's got some magic in that right hand. She fires it across. There's the bump. There's the set. Right side just touching across. We're going to dig it out of there. Little touch pass on the set, and a little touch across by Thornock. It's easily played, though, by the Lady Braves. We'll now set it on this side again for Thornock. Thornock brings the hammer. Nice dig by the libero. And a little touch pass. They'll just pop it back across with Brogue, middle of the court. Mitchell, and then a little touch across by Barker. And that ball is knocked out of there. And the win, 25-19 in game 2 for the Evanston Lady Red Devils. We'll keep it right here between the games, as we're now knotted at 1 in this best of 5. And you talked about it earlier, Jake Hibbard, that fake set, and instead the second touch kill, if you will, by Allie Barker proves the deciding point.
Yeah, and that's the 4th time she's done it this year, and that's the 3rd time it's fallen without a return. So it's been an effective move. Last year's setter, Kim Derrick, did that occasionally last year, so maybe Barker picked up a few tricks from her, but it's been effective so far. That right there, that last point was some excellent back row defense on both ends. You'll notice on that volley that those defenders were putting the ball right to the setter in the middle of the court, so that they could go right to so that they could set to the middle blocker, they could set to the right side, or they could set to their outside, giving them tons of options. That was really a great defensive play on both ends on that last point.
And now I see that our student section may be calling it a night, that maybe the football team may have a curfew or whatnot. I don't know if they're leaving, but they are exiting across the way. That could take a little of the atmosphere out of here, but obviously it looks like a lot of those guys are in the football team.
Yeah, those are all football players right there. Of course, they're always the loudest. It's only 7:42. I don't know what type of curfew they're having, but I figure 10, 12 hours of sleep may be a little bit excessive.
Maybe they're looking to go out there and get after some camels that are coming into town. Who knows? But tell you what, this has been a lot of fun. It got off to a late start, but sometimes the best things in life come to those who wait. We're knotted at 1, Mr. Hibbard, after the first 2. We'll go at least 4 games tonight.
Yep.
Could go 5, 25-12, convincing win in game 1 for the visitors. Evanston responds, holds off a late rally there by Star Valley. What is the key for both these clubs here in game 3, pivotal?
Well, I think for Evanston, they need to keep that attack alive, and they need to keep going to Thornock. She's proven that she's had it tonight, and she just needs to keep firing at that defense, which is strong, but they've shown that if she keeps going, they will break.
Another basketball analogy, if a guy's hit a couple, 2-3 shots in a row, keep feeding the hot hand until he or she cools off. And with Thornock, as you mentioned, she's got a hot hand, especially when she gets that full rotation and brings the Thor knock, that hammer of the gods.
And I think this is good for them right now. They haven't had a real challenge yet this year. They've either lost in straight sets or won in straight sets. That 1-4 set game against Rich County, that second set was really a lot of mistakes by the Evanston team. So this is a good challenge. You got a team that's on your level at this point in the season. Go out and see if you can beat them.
And it looks like the Lady Red Devils will have the serve here to begin the third set. And of course, want to let you know that our good friends at Comprehensive Family Dental, run by Dr. Sean Grohl, always bring you the first serve of each set. Dr. Sean Grohl and his fine team have provided quality family dentistry since 1998.
And they will have Allie Barker set and Ashley Thornock here in the final set. I think that's the right move. She proved that those two had a chemistry there in the second. Keep it going.
All right, here we go. Third set knotted at 1, a game apiece. And Callis will pop it across. And looking for the kill and deflect it off of Thornock's hands. And a point there for the Lady Braves. They get off to a very early lead, 1-0 on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard. That'll bring us back to Emily Kazir, who will fire the first serve of game 3 for the Lady Braves. And the return by number 5, Thornock, goes across the net, and the Lady Braves just touch it down for an easy kill. 2-0 on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard. Kazir pops it across, beautifully dug out by Mitchell, but into the net, and that's going to make it 3-0. A quick early lead for the Lady Braves as Kazir on a roll serving.
And you're getting to your spots right there on the return, but they're not getting there to the point where they can really control that return, so that's what's happened in those last 2 points.
Kazir will fire it across. Callis will bump it. Will set it for Thornock. Brings that powerful right hand, and that ball is going to take a crazy spin backwards. They'll have a chance to just do a monster return about 70, 80 feet back. Can't do it and give that kill on a 2 or 3 touch kill, if you will, sponsored by Independent Software Solutions, to the powerful right hand of Ms. Thornock. 3-1. Evanston trails it on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, looking for a kill of their own and getting it. The Lady Braves of Star Valley, it's now 4-1, and the serve will return to the visitors.
Yeah, right there we got her hands just on it, but wasn't in a position to really do anything, was Lexi Bound, and that's where it just went right past her.
Lady Braves pop it across. Callis with the bump will set it for the kill for Thornock. Nicely dug out by their libero. Kazir will set it up, fired across, and we will set it up again for Thornock. Thornock brings that powerful right hand and gets the kill.
That was a good return by Brene. It looked like a little wild at first with her twist in her body, but it ended up going right to Allie to set it to Thornock on the outside.
Thornock with the solution, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. 4-2, we trail it by a deuce. And our serve by Kaylee Horton. Pops it across, libero bumps it. Kazir sets it. They'll bring the hammer deflected into the net, and that'll be our point. 4-3 now. Evanston down just 1 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve goes to Kaylee Horton, the 5'6" senior for EHS. Horton pops across the net. There's the bump and a high, lofty set. They'll touch it across, and beautifully done. Nice kill there by number 9. And I've got my number 9, Kennedy Jenkins.
And I thought that high set might have given Evanston quite a bit of time to prepare on defense. I thought they were in good position, but it just went right between Kaylee and Ashley.
Here's Chloe Kazir. I'm thinking that's Emily's sister. And she'll pop it across. And we will return it in the middle of the court. And looking for the kill on the right side. The ball is dug out of there, but we've got a net violation, looks like, on the Lady Red Devils. That point will go to the Lady Braves. 6-3. Doubling up. Evanston are the visitors from Star Valley on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Served by Chloe Kazir. And there's the bump by Thornock. She'll get it back off the set, go for the kill, but a nice defensive job there by Star Valley. We'll touch it across the net, and a net violation on the Star Valley Lady Braves. The point goes to Evanston. 6-4. We trail it by 2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Callis is out. Caitlin Freeland back in for EHS.
And you see Lawler out there defending her girls, and she's not shy. She's one of the more vocal coaches. If she sees something, she'll get out and get in their ear.
Ashley Thornock with the serve. The Star Valley Lady Braves look for the kill, but dug out nicely by EHS, and will touch it at the net with Paige Nixon. And Star Valley's return is wide, and that point goes to Evanston. 6-5 now. We trail it by 1 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
That was a good decision, Kaylee, letting it go. Sometimes it's hard in the heat of the moment to know whether to let it go or hit it, but that was a good choice.
Going for the kill and getting it. Number 9, the fine kill there. That's Kennedy Jenkins, her powerful right arm. 7-5, Star Valley by a deuce on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard here. In Game 3, we're tied at 1. Star Valley took Game 1, we took Game 2. There's the bump, and we'll set it on the left side and looking to bring the hammer, but into the net. Caitlin Freeland, the sophomore, comes up short. It's now 8-5, Star Valley by 3. Star Valley with the serve, and we're going to bump it in the wrong direction. That's Thornock, and that's off Thornock and then off Paige Nixon. A little sloppy play there, and it costs us a point. 9-5. We went to Physical Therapy scoreboard, Star Valley by 4. Here's the serve by the Lady Braves, and it's long. 9-6, so some sloppy play returned. We'll take the point, trailing by 3. Out of the game is our number 21, Paige Nixon, and Jessie Mitchell, numero uno, back in there to serve.
Catching a much-needed break right there with that air.
Mitchell fires it across. There's the bump. The set right at the net, touched across and deflected off our number 32, Kaylee Horton. A point to the Star Valley Lady Braves, 10-6. SV on top of EHS on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Number 3, Kennedy Broke will serve. And she fires it just across the net. A beautiful serve. We call that an ace as it's deflected by Thornock, wildly out of bounds. Beautiful serve by Kennedy Broke. Timeout on the floor by Evanston. We lead it, trail it 11-6 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on the Big Dog KNY and FM 99.1 and live online at k-9radio.com. We are back right after this.
When driving safely is a priority to you, trust your brakes, alignment, front end, and suspension to the team at Big O Tires. A bouncy ride can compromise safety and comfort. A properly aligned vehicle will save wear on your tires and can increase gas mileage. And brakes? Well, we all know how important brakes are.
Hey, this is Wayne down at Big O Tires at 607 West Cheyenne Drive. Proud sponsors of the Evanston Red Devils and the Rich Rebels.
Mention this ad and receive $40 off your next alignment.
And welcome back, folks. AP Herald alongside cameraman Tim Bettinson, our color man tonight, Jake Hibbard, the fine sports editor of the Uinta County Daily Herald. We're early in the third game, 11-6, Star Valley on top. Brogue will serve it for the Star Valley Lady Braves, and it's just long. 11-7 now. Evanston gets that point, trailing it by 4 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
Good gracious, that was very lucky because that was just about in.
Barker serves it for the Lady Red Devils, and the Braves will pop it back across and get the point as we cannot set it up for return. 12-7 now. The Lady Braves by 5, the visitors on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Their libero, Jamie Hardy, set to serve, wearing that white and gold shirt. She'll fire it across, popped up by Mitchell, the set by Barker. We'll look to bring the hammer with Brene Sanders. And we will get that point, 12-8. We trail it now by 4. Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Michaela Callis, our libero, will serve.
Well, that was a good reaction by Ashley. Probably didn't mean to get it over the net for a point, but that's what happened.
And unfortunately, what just happened there is that Michaela served it right into the net. She's a little discouraged with herself. It's now 13-8. Give the point to the Lady Braves. They lead it by 5 as Emily Kazir, number 4, will serve it. Right-hander pops across the net. Nice serve dug out of there by Mitchell. We get it across the net. They'll set it back up, touch it across Thornock, and we'll get it on the right side, and that ball is deflected after a nice effort by our Lexi Bound off of an Evanston player, and the Lady Braves get the point, 14-8. They lead it by 6 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
They need to get some communication on defense and get some better position, and otherwise they're not going to have a chance in the rest of this match.
Kazir serves it across, and to your point, Mitchell has it go wildly off her arms. It's now 15-8, and the Star Valley Lady Braves running away with this one here. Emily Kazir will serve it again. She'll pop it across. It hits off a couple of Evanston players and is deflected meagerly, not even up to the net. 16-8, the Star Valley Lady Braves doubling us up. A lot of trouble here for Evanston. Jessie Mitchell trying to fire up her teammates here, down 16-8 midway through the third. The serve by Kazir. Here's the set for Thornock, who tips it across the net just off the top of the net, falls in for the point. Badly needed point, Jake, as we now trail it by 7, 16-9. You win a physical therapy scoreboard.
Yeah, and right now this is where their captains, Allie Barker and Ashley Thornock, need to get in and just tell the players, you're all right, just start playing solid, and we have this.
Brene Sanders with the serve, and they'll set it up middle of the court, and support communication there by Star Valley as they bop it into the net. That's Chloe Kazir, who says, my bad. We'll fire it back across, trailing it by 6. Star Valley will set it up, bring the hammer, and get the point. Nice job there by Star Valley's, and again, I don't have a 5 on my varsity roster, but a nice job there by that young lady, bringing the hammer 17-10. Star Valley by 7. You win a physical therapy scoreboard.
I believe number 5, Shania Warren.
Shania Warren, okay, good. Yeah, I see her down here, way down on my roster. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
And Thornock will try to bring the hammer, but it is deflected, and then Thornock will deflect it back off the other deflection, and it's almost caught by the aforementioned Shania Warren. It's now 17-11 as that point goes to the Lady Red Devils. 6-point deficit, and we'll serve it now with our number 32, Kaylee Horton. Kaylee, a very methodical serve right across, dug out by the libero, set in the middle of the hardwood, touched across by Warren, and that point will go to the Lady Braves as Warren sneaks it onto the hardwood in our end, and it's 18-11. 7-point lead. You win a physical therapy scoreboard for the Lady Braves. Chloe Kazir will fire it, and it's dug out of there by Thornock and touched across by Barker. Up in the air, here's the set, and we've got a whistle, and that point on a violation goes to Evanston, 18-12. We trail it by 6, though. The unit physical therapy scoreboard, Ashley Thornock back to serve.
Lucky to get that point because Kaylee had to go out and try to get the return, and you never want your setter trying to get a return on a serve.
And Thornock serves wildly about 2 feet beyond the end line. Another unforced error, 19-12 on the unit physical therapy scoreboard. Evanston trails it by 7. The serve is Warren, and that one's off the arms of Thornock, goes wildly to the right, and 20-12. Evanston trails it by 8. Getting late here in this third game.
I'm not sure. She hit that with too far in front of her hand, and then it just went down. I don't know if it's just nerves or what's going on right now.
Setting it up are the Lady Braves after we return the serve. It's popped up in the air, and we'll look to get it across. We do so. There's the bump. Here's the set by Warren, looking for the kill. The Lady Braves touch it across and get the kill. That's number 1, Shawnee Dance. And Shawnee gets her mates within 4 points of the win. 21-12. Evanston trails it by 9. There's the serve, bumped up in the air, and Thornock will just push it across. There's the bump, the set, and firing it across and wildly off the arms, I should say, of Brene Sanders. And for a point for the Lady Braves goes the ball. I think that should be 22-12. Yep, they had 21-13. 22-12, 10-point lead. And this one is served into the net. That's a gift for us. 22-13 now. Evanston trails it, though, by 9. This one will be a miracle comeback.
It's a gift they need to capitalize on because a lot of service errors that have been given have been followed up by more service errors.
Jessie Mitchell with the serve. It's bumped up in the air. Warren with the set and bringing the hammer. And successfully, the Lady Braves off the hand of Ashley Thornock, 23-13. Lady Red Devils trail it by 10 on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard as number 3, Kennedy Brogue, set to serve. She'll hit it off the net into our territory. Nice dig there by Thornock. Play at the net, it's hit wildly up into the air, and that ball is slammed onto our side, and the point is still in play as the Lady Braves will set it up for the kill, but dug out of there by Mitchell. Will set it up for Thornock, who just lofts it across. The libero Hardy to Warren. Right side, touched across. Will dig it out, set it again, and push it across. Dug out. There's another set. Tapped across, bumped, set. Tapped across, bumped, set. Touched at the net. Back on our side, back on their side. Dug out of there, set. Up in the air, touched across, back to the Lady Braves. Again touched in the air. On the right side, the ball is knocked, and the point finally at the net. Beautiful play there to seal things off. Morgan Dana. It's now game point, 24-13, and one of the longest rallies you'll ever see. Brogue fires it across. Mitchell touches it back across, and we fired across the net. There's the bump, the set. Morgan Dana with the kill and the win in a convincing Game 3 win, 25-13 for the visitors from Star Valley on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. That is indeed the end of the third set, and this is a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on the Big Dog K9 radio and online at k-9radio.com. And we'll be back right after this.
Here's a question for you. How do you feel about your smile? Are there things about it you wish you could change? Maybe you can. At Bear River Dental, we want to see your smile, and our unique services can help you get the smile you've always wanted. So be happy. Your perfect smile is just around the corner. Come see us today for your free smile consultation, only at Bear River Dental.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference. Because we are where you are.
And welcome back, folks. We've played 3 games. We head to the 4th. This best out of 5. It's 2-1, the visitors from Star Valley up on top. Jake, just to confirm, they had a 25-13 final there. And game number 3, they took that score off the board quite quickly, and almost as quickly as Star Valley jumped out to the lead in that third set. They had it 3-0, really never looked back.
Yeah, it was a tough match. It looked about. I thought when the Lady Devils got back to 5-6 that they were looking like they were going to be able to take control of it. And then also when it was 8-12, I thought they looked like they had some things going. But that game just fell apart from them, and there was no defense was really the key to that one. They just no returns. You had too many 3 bumps and over as opposed to a bump hit set or set hit. So they'll have to improve upon that. They need to get some better defense returns to their setter.
First serve brought to you by Dr. Sean Gold, Comprehensive Family Dental. It's Emily Kazir. And we're underway in game 4. Star Valley with the serve. And we'll get the kill to begin the scoring. And that is our number 14, Lexi Bound, with the kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. We've got the serve now. And they'll bump it, set it, push it across. Mitchell will touch it, and we'll hit it across on the second. And again, that's number 24, Allie Barker, with her patented second touch kill.
Yeah, and I think that if that wouldn't have been out of bounds, they could have had a call for a carrying on that one with how long that held on her hands, number 4, Kazir.
Independent Software Solutions with that kill, bringing it to you and pushing it across, and a nice play there by the Lady Braves to thwart our short rally, turning it to a 2-1 Evanston lead. And now with the serve It is number 2, Lindy Moore. And Lindy Moore will fire it across. There's the bump, the set, and going for the kill and knocking into the net. A violation against Star Valley. That'll be our point. 3-1 Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Serve goes to Brene Sanders. She'll loft it across the net. The libero Hardy bumps it. The set by Emily Kazir. Kill is hit into the net, and it'll be an Evanston point as that's 4-1 now on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Kennedy Jenkins short on the attempted kill.
And early lead's what they need, because you've seen that Star Valley, they really get a lot of momentum going, whereas our team's had trouble getting any momentum for a sustained period.
Brene Sanders serves it across. Jenkins will bump it, and they'll fire it across just, I thought it was long, but they're going to call it in.
Yeah, that was Donna Bruce on the call, and I have to agree with her. It just looked like it was right on the line there.
Chloe Kazir with that kill. Tip your cap to her. 4-2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And how many times you see it? You make a great kill, and then you get to serve. Chloe Kazir, wearing that lucky number 13 for her, fires it across long, and just like that, she gives the point back to Evanston. She comes out of the game. The libero Hardy back in for Star Valley. 5-2. Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and serving for us, number 32 for the Lady Red Devils, Kaylee Horton. Kaylee has that patented serving style, very methodical, across the net. And going for the kill is Jenkins. It's deflected at the net by Barker. Still in play, right side, touched across by Star Valley. We'll bump it. We'll set it wildly and just try to pop it back, and it's short. And 5-3 now the score on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 2. The serve goes back to Star Valley.
That was good defense by Brene backing up the block there, but that second hit just got away from him and kind of ruined that rally.
Shania Warren to serve, and Shania does so. We're going to set it up in the middle of the court, and an I got it, no you take it, nobody had it situation there for Evanston. We let it bounce not harmlessly but harmfully to the floor, and we lose that point 5-4. Evanston, and now an ace on the serve by Shania Warren. And just like that, Jake Hibbert, we're knotted at 5 in the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and old Lady Mo back in the camp of Star Valley.
That's the momentum right there, and that play where no one got the hit, that's where someone says, I got it, and then they get it. That's just communication right there.
There's the serve by Warren, and we'll fire it across with Barker. Great dig by Hardy. They'll set it up for Jenkins for the kill. Jenkins does so, and they are fired up on that Star Valley sideline, and out there the players. 6-5 the lead, and the atmosphere has dwindled here as the football team is gone, and the student section has gone from about 90 people to about 9 people across the way. 6-5, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Warren with the serve and the lead for Star Valley. The bump by Callis, and we will attempt to kill and do so with our resident murderer, if you will, on the kill.
That was a beautiful kill right there.
Ashley Thornock, Independent Software Solutions, bringing that to you. And as Mr. Hibbert said, if you're watching that on K-9radio.com, a thing of beauty.
Just in the back left corner right there, and that's what they need.
Thornock gets the serve. They'll set it up for the attempted kill. We'll bump it, pass it, and just pop it back across on the loft. The libero Hardy pops it up in the air. Set it over there for Jenkins. Her powerful right arm is way long. That's a wild attempted kill. The point will go to Evanston, 7-6 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Lady Red Devils by a skinny point.
Let's see if they can get some momentum right here. I'd like to see a little energy.
Absolutely. Thornock with the serve. There's the bump and set. Touched across. Nice save by Evanston. Pushed back across off the net, and that will go on a violation to Evanston and will give us a 2-point lead, 8-6 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Ashley Thornock continuing to serve.
Boy, it wasn't pretty on that hit over by Nixon, but it got the job done.
It's all about results as Hardy with the bump. There's the set and hit short into the net, and that point again will go to Evanston. A 9-6 lead on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and a timeout taken by Star Valley. Will take it with them. 9-6 Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNY and FM 99.1 The Big Dog and online at K-9radio.com. Back right after this.
When you follow your students' school activities from one end of the state to the other, it can get expensive. Whenever you're in Evanston, save money and eat healthy at the Legal Tender Restaurant inside the Best Western Dunmar Inn. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner daily, you and your family can eat a balanced meal without breaking the bank. The Legal Tender Restaurant is located close to the Evanston schools. For directions, visit bestwesternwyoming.com.
And welcome back, folks. Red Devil Gymnasium, about a third of the way through the fourth game, 2-1 in the best of five. The lead to Star Valley, AP Harold alongside Jake Hibbard. And the serve for Thornock is pushed back across by Star Valley. We're going to bump it. We're going to set it. And the hammer is deflected off of our Caitlin Freeland by a nice play there by Star Valley. Give the point to the Lady Braves, 9-7. UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. The serve returns to the women in black and gold.
And she served right into the net, but I thought that, or not into the net, into the hands of the blockers, but I thought it was a good setup either way.
Kennedy Brogue with the serve. Thornock will just pop it across. Hardy with the bump. Warren over to Jenkins, and Jenkins is inside as a deflection off of Evanston. Thank you there to both Jake and the official. Caught that I did not see a deflection. That's why that point stays with Star Valley. Brogue will look to tie things up. Her team trails it by 1, 9-8, and a bad bump there off the hands of our number 4. Brene Sanders knots this thing at 9 on the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Brogue's on a roll.
And she's done a pretty good job on defense today. She hasn't made too many of those mistakes.
Brogue again with the serve. Sanders with a nice bump. We're going to fire it hard with our number 24, Allie Barker. And Barker wins that point. Independent Software Solutions kill 10-9. She's done a lot of soft stuff tonight. That time she brought the cannon.
Yeah, and that was one of those shots that hit the blocker's hands and it went straight down, but it was on their side of the net.
Jesse Mitchell will serve it for us. And on the right side, touching it across for the kill, the opposite number 1, ours is Mitchell. There's a Shawnee Dance, and she touches it across for the easy kill. Knotted at 10 here, about a third of the way through the fourth game. 2-1 overall in this best of 5. The lead right now is Star Valley. The serve comes from Hardy, and we'll hammer it back across with our number 4, Brene Sanders, and that leaping lady makes it 11-10 Red Devils. Lady Red Devils on the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Independent Software Solutions brings you that kill. Barker with the serve for us, dug out by Hardy. And Jenkins looks for the kill, but batted down by our number 14, Lexi Bound. 12-10 Lady Red Devils by a deuce. She gets the kill there on the Independent Software Solutions sponsorship. And the dig there on the bump by the libero. They'll just push it back across, and we will set it up middle of the court, and that ball is batted off the net and slapped back across off the net again by the Lady Braves. We'll need to push it across here with Mitchell. She does so long, but into the playable surface of the court for the Lady Braves. Bump it back across to us. We'll look for the kill and get it with our number 11, the sophomore, Caitlin Freeland. Independent Software Solutions bringing that one. 3-point lead, 13-10 on the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Lady Red Devils on a roll here. Barker with the serve. Bump by Brogue. There's the set by Warren. Jenkins touches it across. Nice dig by Freeland. And we'll bump it back across. Nice bump there by the libero. They'll look to bring the hammer. It's deflected at the net. Kept in play. We'll set it middle of the court and touch just a little bit long by our number 4, Brene Sanders. The point, Jake, goes back to Star Valley. 13-11. UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 2.
Yeah, and Brene's had some trouble when she's just had to go straight up and try and get those kills. She does better when she has a couple steps to work with.
Emily Kazir will serve. Her team trails it by 2. Mitchell with the bump, and we've got a whistle and a violation on Evanston, and that point goes to the Lady Braves. 13-12, Evanston by 1 in the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Number 4 again, Emily Kazir with the serve for Star Valley, looking to tie things up. They trail it by 1, and we have to hustle to get this one across the net. Do so. Hardy with the bump, Kazir with the set. Right side touched across for the easy finesse kill by number 5. The crafty Shania Warren does tie it up at 13 on the UNO Physical Therapy scoreboard. Emily Kazir continues to serve.
This is going to be a critical point right here. I would say that if Star Valley gets this point, they could easily just run away and win this game right here.
Critical juncture. Kazir lofts it across. We're going to bump it. We're going to set it. Look for the kill. It's bumped by Hardy. There's the set by Kazir. Jenkins goes for the kill, deflected at the net. The point it goes to the Lady Red Devils, who go back on top, 14-13 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
That's paramount. Lady Devils can't trail at any point throughout this set. They just haven't shown the ability to come back today.
Callis the serve for us, and a violation as colliding into the net is Emily Kazir. 15-13 Lady Devils on top by 2 on that Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Michaela will serve it again. There's a nice bump. The set by Kazir, middle of the court. Her sister, Chloe Kazir. I'm taking a liberty there saying her sister, might be her cousin, might be no relation, you never know. Does get the kill 15-14 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard as Brogue is out and Jenkins is back in. The serve will go to their number 2, Lindy Moore. Lindy Moore gets it across the net. There's the bump from Thornock, and she'll get it back looking for the kill and gets it as she deflects it off a couple of Lady Braves. 16-14 Evanston on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Independent Software Solutions, another Ashley Thornock kill.
That was a good job right there. She just let it right into their hands in the direction that it would just deflect like that.
Looking for the kill is Jenkins, but it's deflected by an Evanston player, Thornock, I believe. Or no, that's number 20.
That was Lexi Bound there.
Lexi Bound with that deflection. Will set it up for Thornock on the right side. She goes for the kill and gets it again off a couple of players. Chloe Kazir and Warren cannot corral it. 17-14. A 3-point lead for Evanston.
Allie Barker's trying to get some energy out of her team right now. She knows they need some momentum.
Sanders with the serve will deflect it at the net, but this one will go the way of the Lady Braves, who cut it to 2. Hardy's out of there. Back into the game is Shawnee Dance for the Lady Braves. Chloe Kazir will serve. Her team trailing it by 2, 17-15. Chloe will hit this one long. She hit that one about 5 feet beyond the line and served it from about 5 feet beyond the line. She's got a cannon, but too much there. 18-15, Evanston by 3, Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
Here we got Kaylee Horton. She's been doing great setting early in the year. Let's see what she's got.
Kaylee Horton, that patented serve right across the middle, dug out by the libero. It's going to be deflected at the net by our Ashley Thornock. Give her the kill on that deflection, 19-15. The Lady Red Devils by 4. Independent Software Solutions bringing you that one on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. And that's, I believe, not an ace. I thought it was going to be an ace, just missed there. And the errant serve gives the point to the Lady Braves, 19-16. Evanston by 3. Warren will serve it. Shania Warren from the middle of the court. It's a nice bump, a nice set. Thornock looks for the kill and gets it. She brings the sledgehammer, and it's now 20-16 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Independent Software Solutions, the guys you can trust with all your technical needs. And the bump there by Hardy, the set by Warren. Jenkins will push it across, deflected the wrong way, but will hustle it back across, and it's bumped up in the air, short and into the net. Great point there for Evanston. Had to rally to keep that one in play. Got the point. Timeout taken by Star Valley. Will take it with them. 21-16, Evanston by 5 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on the Big Dog 99.1 FM and online at k-9radio.com. We are back right after this.
When you follow your students' school activities from one end of the state to the other, it can get expensive. Whenever you're in Evanston, save money and eat healthy at the Legal Tender Restaurant inside the Best Western Dunmarian. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner daily, you and your family can eat a balanced meal without breaking the bank. The Legal Tender Restaurant is located close to the Evanston schools. For directions, visit bestwesternwyoming.com.
Welcome back, folks. We are ending up a timeout here in the fourth game. 21-16, Lady Red Devils by 5 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Need 4 more points to force a decisive 5th set. And Ashley Thornock, who's had a lot of kills and a big block of late, will serve for us. It's a nice bump, nice set by Warren. And they will look for the kill, but kill themselves by pushing it right into the net. That was on the attempt there, Riley Hatterley. It's now 22-16, Evanston by 6. Thornock with the serve. Here's the set on the right side for Jenkins. Will touch it across, deflected off a couple of Evanston Lady Red Devils back, though, on the Star Valley side. They'll pop it across. Hit up in the air with the bump. There's the set. We'll just push it across. There's the bump. Here's the set by the libero, and they'll push it across as well. We'll bump it. We'll set it. Look for the kill on the right side off of the net, and perhaps a hand of a Lady Brave. And that point will go to Evanston. I believe that was Caitlin Freeland.
Sure it was, and that's good that she can get that because Thornock's been leading them, and now she's in the back row, so they're going to need to get those final 2 points without her in the attacking position.
That kill brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. The sophomore in on the kill. 23-16, you win a physical therapy scoreboard. Evanston needs 2 points to force a game 5. The serve is back in our side, and we'll look to hammer it across. Great bump there, dig by the libero. Jenkins will push it back across. Nice bump by us, and we'll set it. We'll pop it back across by Freeland. The libero will bump it. They'll set it middle of our right side, I should say. And we'll dig it out of there on the bump. We'll pop it up in the air. And a nice kill on the right side by Freeland. Again, Independent Software Solutions bringing it within a point, I should say, of the game. 24-16, Lady Red Devils by 8 on the UNF Physical Therapy scoreboard. Ashley Thornock will serve here to try to force a decisive 5th set. There's the serve. It's bumped high in the air. Here's the set on the left side. Touched across, deflected to the net, and knocked back over for the winner. That is our number 24, Allie Barker. And we win through the Lady Red Devils the 4th game, 25-16 on the UNF Physical Therapy scoreboard. We'll come back for that 5th and deciding set right after this on the Big O Tires of Evanston, the presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on the Big Dog, FM 99.1, and of course online at k-9radio.com.
What does the paint on your front door, the paint on your garage doors, or lasting color on a new sign for your business have in common? The answer, T-Bar S Body Shop. That's right, T-Bar S Body Shop handles custom paint jobs. So when you need a paint job that can withstand all types of weather, season after season, T-Bar S Body Shop has a solution. Call us today, T-Bar S Body Shop in Technoglass of Evanston, 307-789-2639. That's 789-2639.
Overall, Unibosse's #1 Education Center meets different needs for different people. Unibosse's #1 Education Center is a community education center serving the citizens and all of their educational and training needs. It is a partnership with Una County School District #1 and Western Wyoming Community College. So what is Unibosse's #1 Education Center? That's for you to decide by making your training and educational dreams come true. Visit us at www.uintaeducation.org to see all of our offerings, educating our communities. This is Mike Williams, Director of the Una County Bosse's #1 Education Center.
And welcome back, folks. We're about a minute and a half away from getting things going here in this 5th and decisive set. The Lady Red Devils taking games 2 and 4. And Jake, our final score there, 25-16. And so the Lady Red Devils with a 9-point win after a 6-point win in game 2. The wins, though, in games 1 and 3 by the visitors from Star Valley, more impressive, 25-12, 25-13. But the important thing is knotted at 2 games each here. And tell folks who might not be as familiar as they should be with volleyball about how that decisive 5th game plays out.
Well, we're going to 15 points, got to win by 2. Same thing, rally scoring, except just 10 fewer points you got to get. And right now, I think that this team needs to take on the personality of its coach, Tara Lawler. She's a very emotional person, emotionally driven. And as you see down that team, they look like they have a little bit more energy than they've had that whole night, and that's exactly what they need to get this 5th set because it's not going to be easy. Star Valley and their defender, they're going to be diving all over the floor, and Evanston hasn't shown the ability to play defense on the level of the Lady Braves, but they've shown a better proficiency in attacking, so they need to take advantage of that and keep going. Don't get discouraged. Don't try to outsmart them, especially with Ashley Thornock. Just keep throwing it down.
We got the football team headed home, but it looks like the JV girls dancing here as they're trying to fire up their varsity teammates in this decisive 5th set. And oftentimes in baseball in the postseason, when it's more urgent, you manage differently. Do you coach differently when you're only going to 15?
Well, I would have to say, you gotta have your first rotation in there. You gotta have Ashley up front right away. No messing around. You gotta have your best people up front because you never know.
Michaela Callis with the serve, and we'll get it back on our side. And the hammer brought down by Ashley Thornock for the kill, brought to you by Independent Software Solutions. And that all-important first point, the lead on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard in this decisive 5th set, goes to the Lady Devils. Michaela will pop it across on the serve. There's a nice bump in the set. It's deflected at the net, and that point will go again to the Lady Red Devils. 2-0 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and on a roll is our fine libero, Michaela Callis, with her third serve.
Seeing a little bounce in their step right now.
A nice bump, nice set, and we've got a violation on the Lady Braves, and that's 3-0 now on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. Michaela Callis again looking to serve away. Lofts it high across the net. The libero digs it out. That's Hardy. Kazir with the set and the nice dig by Callis on this side. She'll pop it across, and that one is popped up in the air by Brogue, set by Warren. Kazir will pop it across as our Callis with a nice dig will fire it back across. The libero will set it. Touch kill attempt is dug out by Mitchell. Will set it and knocked into the net, and that point will go to the Lady Braves as our number 4, Brene Sanders, with a nice effort, came a little bit short. 3-1 now on the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard, Evanston by 2. Emily Kazir will serve for the visitors of Star Valley, dug out of there by Mitchell. Will set it up for a left-handed kill attempt by Ashley Thornock, but it was a poor delivery there, and she was not able to keep it in bounds. That point goes to Star Valley, 3-2. Lady Red Devils by 1, Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard. The bump by Thornock goes wild, but dug out of there by Barker. Tapped across there by Evanston. And then on the right side, the kill attempt is deflected back towards the Lady Braves, and it goes to Evanston, 4-2. EHS by a deuce on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard in this decisive 5th set.
Seeing a lot more excitement out of the team, and that's what they play a lot better when they actually get some excitement going.
Brene Sanders with the serve. Nice set there by Star Valley. Touched at the net on the deflection, and we will set it up. Looks like 3 touches already for the Lady Red Devils, and that point will go to the Lady Braves. 4-3 now. Evanston by 1. Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard, and I think Coach Lawler.
She's arguing that there was she was arguing there was a block there and that it wasn't 4 hits and that it should be a replay. No, it wasn't. That's what I thought too. Is that it was Lexi? She got that block there, and then it was right to Barker. Lexi set it for, and then they called it was too many hits. But that had to be a block right there, and that's what she's arguing for a replay.
Yeah, good call, guys. I thought she was asking for a timeout motion, but that she was just saying, hey, that was a block. The serve is returned nicely, and we're going to fire it with a kill. That is Ashley Thornock, who deflects it off of one of their deep ladies in the back, and that point will go to EHS. 5-3 now on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. We have the serve with our number 32, Kaylee Horton. Kaylee, I love her serve. Goes right across the net, very methodical. Here's the set by Kazir, and that's Jenkins, and Jenkins with the kill as she gets it in the back left corner. 5-4 now. Evanston by a skinny point on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
And that's just a bad read there, letting that one go. That one just dropped right into the right corner, and it wasn't even close to being out.
Chloe Kazir will serve, will set it up. Thornock will go for the kill and get it. The murderer is back, and Ashley Thornock with an Independent Software Solutions kill gives Evanston a 6-4 2-point lead, and just like that, Ms. Thornock is back to serve herself. Number 5 puts it across the net, dug out nicely by the libero. Bump it high in the air and just pop it across for the Lady Braves. Will dig it, set it, and look for the kill. Deflected, popped back by us across the net. The Lady Braves will now set it up on the left side for Jenkins. It's deflected off one of our players. That's number 11, Caitlin Freeland, who at insult to injury hits off her face for the loss of the point. 6-5, Evanston by 1. The serve, though, goes back now in the Unit Physical Therapy scoreboard to the Star Valley Lady Braves. That's Warren. It's dug out of there by EHS. Left side for Freeland. She looks for the kill and gets it off the deflection. Independent Software Solutions. That's sophomore Caitlin Freeland with the kill. 7-5. EHS by 2 on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard.
And that's the first opportunity kill, and that's what they need because they can't allow Star Valley to get in and expose them on that defense right now.
Jesse Mitchell, the senior, will serve it across, and the Lady Braves will pop it back our way. We'll set up Freeland for another kill attempt. It's deflected back to Freeland off her. They'll set Freeland again. She goes for another kill, dug out of there by the Lady Braves. They'll set up Jenkins. She goes for the kill, dug out of there by Mitchell. We'll set it up again for Freeland. Goes for another kill, dug out of there by the libero. At the net, we'll touch it back across, and that's...
Are they calling the net violation? No, they're giving Evanston the point there.
I believe that was Bernae Sanders.
That was Caitlin Freeland.
Freeland. Freeland got it again. Okay, great job by Caitlin with the block, 8-5. Evanston by 3 unit physical therapy scoreboard. Mitchell with the serve. It's popped high in the air, going for a long distance kill. And not getting it, the Lady Braves will hammer it on the right side. That's Allie Parker, 9-5 with the kill on the unit physical therapy scoreboard. The kill brought to you by Independent Software Solutions, and the Lady Braves take a wise timeout, down 4. We'll take it with them here. 9-5 unit physical therapy scoreboard. Evanston by 4 on a Lady Red Devils presentation brought to you by Big O Tires on K-9radio.com, and of course on terrestrial radio on the Big Dog 99.1 FM. Back right after this.
KADQRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's most visited website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. KADQRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Utah and Wyoming high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much, much more. Check it out today and see what KADQRadio.com has for you.
And welcome back, folks. 9-5 in this decisive 5th set. Jesse Mitchell will pop it across in the serve for the Lady Red Devils. Looking to bring the hammer, and doing so, Kennedy Jenkins for the Lady Braves. That cuts it to a 9-6 lead as she gets the kill. The serve now by number 3, Kennedy Brogue. That's Kennedy spelled the traditional way, Kennedy, for the other young woman on the Lady Braves. Pop it up in the air here, going for the kill, deflected into the net. That point will go to Evanston. It's now 10-6, unit physical therapy scoreboard, Lady Red Devils by 4.
I'm not sure if Allie or Bernae actually got that block. I think it might have just been an assist on those two, but that was a great timing.
Allie Barker with the serve. We need 5 points to win this match. And it's bumped up in the air by Evanston, and we'll hammer it across, and I believe that's in. Yes, it is. That's our number 4, Bernae Sanders, with a deflection kill. 11-6, 5-point lead. Unit physical therapy scoreboard. Barker again with the serve. Pushes it across the net. Dug out of there nicely. There's the set, looking for the kill themselves. This long by number 8, I believe that's Morgan Dana. And it's now 12-6, just 3 points away from victory here at home are the Lady Red Devils. Allie Barker's on a roll. She pops it across. The libero with the bump. There's the set. They'll just pop it across for the Lady Braves. Will push it on the second attempt there by Barker. And coming on the right side, looking for the kill. And a little bit inside the line with the kill for the Lady Braves there. 12-7 unit physical therapy scoreboard. And a timeout taken by Coach Lawler. We'll keep it, though, right here. 12-7, you like your chances now. You just need 3 points to take home the victory, as Coach Lawler wants to corral her troops and give them some words of encouragement to try to close this thing out.
Yeah, clearly they're at the advantage, just need 3 points, but I think they're at the advantage in this set with the way they've played. They've really taken advantage of getting those first opportunity kills, and that's crucial when you're playing a defensive team like this, because they will wear you down, and especially when you haven't shown to be as good a defense, haven't been able to get in as good a position. Although I've seen some improvement on this set particularly. They're clearly playing with the mindset that they aren't going to let this one get away at home.
You see the body language, how the Lady Red Devils, a tight unit there, huddled together. And if you look over there at the Star Valley bench, and there's some head shaking and scratching. And so the momentum clearly, as Jake said, on the side of Lady Red Devils. But momentum can help you win, but 15 points will get you the win. And the serve now to the libero Hardy for the visitors from Star Valley. She'll pop it across the net. We'll dig it out with Thornock and set it wildly in the middle of the court. Freeland tries to save it, but we slop sloppy play there loses us that point, 12-8.
Yeah, just didn't get that set where it was supposed to be.
Firing it across, and we dig it out of there with Thornock. Get it back to Thornock. She'll tap it across. Dug out of there by Brogue. Set up by Warren. Jenkins looks for the kill. It's deflected back towards Star Valley. A point to Evanston, 13-8. We're 2 points away from the win. And back to the lady who got everything started earlier this evening, Michaela Callis, our fine libero, wearing that bright red jersey, number 8, fires it across the net. Dug out of there. Set. Jenkins goes for the kill and gets it. She just brought a hammer right there that would make Independent Software Solutions proud, but it's for the wrong team if you're a Lady Red Devils fan, but still a nice play. Got to tip your cap to her. 13-9. Lady Red Devils up by 4. Here's Kazir. Emily Kazir fires it across. Dug out by Thornock. We'll set it back for Thornock. She brings the hammer. Great dig by Brogue. Kazir sets it to Jenkins. Dug out of there by Michaela, and Thornock will pop it back across. Dug out of there by Hardy. Right side, the touch across by Warren. It's the finesse kill for Shania Warren. It's now 13-10. Crafty play there, Jake, by number 5.
Yeah, Star Valley's had a lot more success than Evanston has with that touch play all the game today.
Emily Kazir, her team trails it by 3. Will pop it across the net. Dug out nicely by Mitchell, and we'll try to push it back across, but we hit it 4 times, and you can't do that. And it's now 13-11. Just a beautiful serve there. Got that going by Emily Kazir. And a timeout taken. And again, we'll keep it right here by Coach Lawler. 13-11 on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard. This thing has tightened up dramatically. And we're getting down to brass tacks here in this 5th and decisive set.
Yeah, well, last time out it was 12-7. Just a couple minutes ago. Now we're 13-11, and that means clearly Evanston trending in the wrong direction right now. That last play, it was a good serve, and it's tough to get to, but you know, it's just passing is going to be paramount going forward for these girls to be working on in practice, because you can stay in this game against Star Valley, and like we've said many times before, conference time, it's going to be a different story.
13-11 on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard. We're only playing to 15 in this decisive 5th set. This was supposed to tip off at 6. It was delayed. It's past 8:30. And a lot of pride and emotion at stake on either side. Emily Kazir will serve it. Gets it across the net, hits the net. That's a tough one to play. We'll push it back across. They'll pop it up in the air, tap it back across. Thornock has it for us, lofts it near the net. We'll push it at the net. It's deflected up in the air, and they've just got to push it back across. Do so, dug out nicely by Mitchell. We'll push it for a kill for Thornock. Hits it into the net, and that point, I should say, goes to Star Valley. 13-12. They're down just 1 on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard. This one is about as close as it can get. Emily Kazir will fire it across the net. Mitchell bumps it, but it's back. We have to just hustle it across the net. Do so. Dug out of there by Brogue. Kazir sets it on the right side for Warren. Touches it across. Nice attempted save by Mitchell, but our number 14, Lexi Bound, can do nothing with it, and we're knotted at 13 on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard. The momentum has swung back to Star Valley.
And the back row, they have to be reading the hand right there. You can see that they're going to be tapping it over. You got to come in, fill that gap, and not stay so far back.
Kazir fires it across, dug out by Mitchell. Set up for Thornock, just touches it across for the kill. And that's now 14-13 on the Independent Software Solutions kill by Ashley Thornock, and this is game point. And serving Renee Sanders. We get this point, we win it. Sanders pops it across. There's the bump. There's the set. Chloe has it bumped back. It's still in the air. And now we will play it on this side, going for the win. It's Thornock. She's got it, and we've won it. 15-13, the final in set 5. And the Lady Red Devils on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard have won this one by 2 and win the best of 5, 3 out of 5, winning games 2, 4, and 5. The final here in the final game, the final set, 15-13 as you go to your tiebreaker scenario. We will be back to recap some of tonight's action here. Again, the final on the UNA Physical Therapy scoreboard is the Lady Red Devils 3-2 winners in this best of 5. And next we will recap the match set by set and hopefully visit with a representative from the Lady Red Devils volleyball program on a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball on KNYN, the Big Dog, 99.1 FM and live online at K-9radio.com.
Eating, sleeping, breathing, moving. We all do it. It's called living. But as we age, those seemingly mundane daily basics take their toll on our bodies via oxidative stress. Fight back. Supplement with all-natural Pro Tandem, a revolutionary clinically tested plant-based formula proven to reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in just 30 days. You take care of your car, your home, your money, but what about you? Supplement with Pro Tandem. Click on the telegram to help that you'll find at any of the sites at mylocalradio.com. Thank you. Yes, you. Thank you for helping to make Castle Rock Chevrolet Southwest Wyoming's #1 Chevy dealer. Thanks to you, Castle Rock Chevrolet has been able to remodel and expand their service department, now offering new tire and wheel sales, alignments, and services from simple oil and filters to complete rebuilds. Castle Rock Chevrolet, your hometown dealer. Good people who will treat you right.
We're Castle Rock.
Highly trained mechanics you can trust. CastleRockChevy.com.
Shop with confidence. Big O Tires of Evanston has the buying power to bring you great prices on tires and the people power to make sure you drive away happy. No matter what you drive, big or small, the professionals at Big O Tires in Evanston will help you choose the tires that are right for you. From performance tires to durable economy tires to exact match OEM tires, we have the tires you're looking for.
Big O Tires, 607 West Cheyenne Drive in Evanston, 307-789-1130.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
And welcome back post-game, folks. A thrilling, long night here at Red Devils Gymnasium as the Lady Red Devils pull off an exciting victory in the best of 5, taking games 2, 4, and 5 to win 3-2. We're joined by the fine head coach, the builder of the program, Coach Tara Lawler. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Exciting win for you guys, nerve-wracking for all involved. It got off to a late start, momentum going back and forth. Talk about tonight.
Yeah, I know our girls are tired. They were tired from this past weekend, and we had Labor Day off, went to practice on Tuesday, and then last night Cokeville. But definitely the fans were amazing at the beginning. We had the momentum. Unfortunately, you know, volleyball is a game of momentum, and unfortunately there were times when it wasn't so much Star Valley beating us, it was us beating ourselves with silly errors.
And you talk about the fans, a lot of those football kids, I think may have had a curfew, had to leave as the night got delayed, but then your JV kids, those girls dancing, hooping and hollering for you guys, keeping your energy high.
Absolutely. They were fantastic. All of them, everybody. It was great.
What was the key there in that decisive 5th set for you guys to get to 15 before they did?
You know, in the 4th game, we told the kids they need to take every point personal. And whether it's an error on our part, we know better probably. And if Star Valley earned it, then we need to do something to kind of prevent those successes that our opponents have. And so I know that in the 4th game when we started, we could see the expression. They were taking it more personal. It wasn't like, oh, we'll get the next point. There was more urgency. And so that urgency definitely helped in a game to 15.
I don't have your schedule in front of me, but I think you guys are off for a while.
We're
Is that right?
until next Friday and Saturday when we travel to Natrona County for Kelly Walsh and Natrona.
You guys have had a nice run here after dropping the 2 out of your first 3 matches. I believe you won 5 in a row. How do you keep that momentum going, not playing in 8 days?
It will be nice to get back in the gym. We definitely have some things we need to work on. We need to look at our rotations, but it's been hard with the schedule and game time. I can't change it on the bus, and I wasn't going to change it before. So we need to look at a few things. Our defense tonight wasn't as quick as what it has been the last couple of days. And looking at the statistics, we got some good touches on blocks, but in a 5 set, we should be having many more touches. So we have a lot to work on, but we're happy, definitely. The one thing that coaches sometimes, you get to a certain point and you got to be able to teach those kids to handle it under pressure. And Star Valley definitely made it interesting at the end, and we showed that we could still handle and we didn't buckle.
Congratulations, Coach Tara Lawler. You guys get some well-deserved time off from game activity, but I know you'll be practicing hard. You'll be strategizing, trying to figure out how to take your kids, your girls, to the next level. But a 5-match winning streak, and hope you can keep things rolling. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks.
That is the fine head coach of your Victorious tonight in 5 sets. The Lady Red Devils winning it here over the game fine young women from Star Valley. They win it in 3-2 fashion, taking games 2, 4, and 5. 25-19, 25-16, and 15-13. The scores of the Victorious games. We lost the other two big time. 25-12 in game 1, 25-13 in game 2. We thank so much Coach Lawler for stopping by. We'll take a quick break, come back, and take a look at the Red Devil Roundup, a look at what's coming up this weekend in Evanston Red Devil Athletics. That's on this, a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils volleyball right here on the Big Dog FM 99.1, and of course online at k-9radio.com.
Here's a question for you. How do you feel about your smile? Are there things about it you wish you could change? Maybe you can. At Bear River Dental, we want to see your smile, and our unique services can help you get the smile you've always wanted. So be happy. Your perfect smile is just around the corner. Come see us today for your free smile consultation, only at Bear River Dental.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference. Because we are where you are.
Welcome back, post-game, folks. Time now to take a look at your Red Devil Roundup. That's a look ahead at this weekend's action for EHS Athletics. Football, of course, tomorrow. The Campbell County, a.k.a. Gillette Camels, come a-calling. Kickoff at 7. We'll have coverage at 6:25 right here on the Big Dog and on k-9radio.com. Both those teams 1-0. Cross country, boys and girls at the Wyoming Indian Invite in Riverton. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then possibly Coach Berger will make a executive decision. He'll decide whether or not we'll continue on Saturday to the Soda Springs Invite over in the Gem State of Idaho on Saturday. Girls swimming is at the Lyman Invite Saturday, 11 a.m. Golf today and tomorrow, obviously already done today, but tomorrow continues at the Green River Invite. 9 a.m. is tee time for those folks. Football at the JV level, Campbell County, a.k.a. Gillette, at Evanston, 9 a.m. on Saturday. Red Devil Freshman Summit Academy at Evanston at high noon on Saturday. Evanston Middle School and Davis Middle School, both the football programs there, are at the Mountain View Jamboree, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And the volleyball for Evanston Middle and Davis Middle are both at the Mountain View Lyman Jamboree, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And that's your Red Devil Roundup. That does conclude the Lady Red Devils volleyball postgame show. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production for Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights holders. The executive producer of tonight's broadcast is Val Cook. We'd also like to thank our sales team of Julie Burley and Alex Faini. ITs are Brandon Misleviich, General Manager Warren Cook, Office Manager Kayleen Anderson, K2Q Sports Director Ryan Steinekert, Old West Design Manager Willie Lively, as well as Adam Jackson and Kim the DJ. I'd like to thank my buddy Jake Hibbert of the Uinta County Herald for his contributions both in our pregame and doing a little color tonight. And for cameraman Tim Bettinson and our producer Gabby Bowie, on play-by-play man AP Herald. Once again, our final tonight, best 3 out of 5. It took all 5, and we got 3, they got 2. The Lady Red Devils victorious over the visiting Star Valley Lady Braves on the Uinta Physical Therapy scoreboard. You can join us again for football. That's tomorrow, 6:25, when the Camels of Gillette come a-calling at K. Fackrell Stadium. Kickoff at 7. Volleyball will return on next Friday, and we will have our next broadcast next Saturday, as we'll have the football game next Friday as well. But again, tonight, best 3 out of 5, the Lady Red Devils take it. Congratulations to Coach Lawler's gang. A very entertaining, fantastic affair. 3 out of 5, the Red Devils, Lady Red Devils take it. Remember, Evanston fans, pitchforks will rise. Go Red Devils.
You've been listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devils Volleyball on KNYN FM 99.1 The Big Dog, with live streaming video online at k-9radio.com. Evanston Red Devils Volleyball, brought to you by Castle Rock Chevrolet, Old West Design, PC Innovations, Big O Tires of Evanston, Western Wyoming Community College, Old West Media, Best Western, Dunmar Inn, The Legal Tender Restaurant, UNFOC's #1 education center, and by T-Bar S Body Shop and Technoglass of Evanston. Thank you for tuning in to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Lady Red Devil Volleyball on KNYN 99.1 FM, The Big Dog, with live streaming video online at k-9radio.com.